It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. How are we all doing? How are we all doing? I've got Adam from Calvors Brewing with us tonight. How are you doing, Adam?
Yeah, really good. Thank you, mate. Really good. Good to be here.
Fantastic. I'm just going to quickly refresh this page and get the live feed up on. There we go. I'm live now. Let me pause that. I'm just get the live feed up. There we go. There we go. There we go. So we're up and running. We're up and running. How are you, Adam? Tell us a little bit about Calvors Brewery and what we're doing tonight.
Yeah, we're good, mate. Thank you. Calvors sort of started in 2008. We're all about properly brewed lagers to the German sort of style, traditionally brewed, properly lagered, nice proper lagers for like the mainstream. So it's a craft alternative to mainstream brews in the German style, as we'll hopefully find out tonight. And the idea of tonight, which has been organised by Beers of Europe, is to compare our beers against some of the Goliaths of the style, basically. So that's what we're all about.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. So we got some comments coming through already. Joe Biden Stenders has said, Adam, cheers, welcome to the Stone Crow. So this is the Stone Crow, a little virtual pub whilst we're in lockdown. Adam, I know you've been watching the Stone Crow. What's it like where from watching to like being involved?
It's quite weird, yeah. It's quite weird. I'm just gonna wait and see if I'm sort of mumbling and stuff as much as you do sometimes at the end of the video.
Yeah, exactly, brilliant. So at the moment we got 81 people tuned in. Lots of people saying, "Hi Adam, great to see you," and he's going to try a beer. Oh yeah, Daniel Bale. I think he's been tweeting at you. He's bought your. I think he bought a big box of your Session IPA.
Oh, brilliant! Thanks, Daniel.
Yeah. Lovecraft Lager. Someone's drinking a Weston's 8.2% cider. Can't go wrong, they're saying. Chris the Butcher and friends, what's going on here then? Chris the Butcher, we've got our first kind of live Meet the Brewer event. I don't know about you, Adam. I've been pulling walls down and it's been so warm. I've had sweat dripping off me all day. I'm ready for my first beer.
Yeah, I'm ready to crack into one, yeah.
I know we're 5 minutes. We are 5 minutes early. 4 minutes early. I'm sure people are going to be okay with us cracking on a couple of minutes early. So I'm going to grab hold of. This is your Hell's Lager, described as a light, crisp, and refreshing beer at 3.8% ABV. Going to crack that. So the order of the night, then, everybody, is that this has been supported by beersofeurope.co.uk. Absolutely fantastic. And they actually suggested this kind of comparing beers from a British brewery, so German-style beers, and pairing them with the Goliaths of the industry, as Adam just mentioned. So I want to say a massive thank you for Beers of Europe who've supported this. They've got me in contact with yourself through all of this, and they suggested that we do this. It's a brilliant idea, I think. So we got 112 people tuned in so far. So here is the Anders, the Kloster Anders, and it's described as a bird bock hell, and it's coming in. The ABV is it's 6.9% ABV. That's so basically what we're talking here, Adam, is that they've added a lot more malts to extract a lot more sugar. Yeah.
Yes, ever so slightly darker than ours.
Let's have a look. But nice. I mean, yeah, nice crisp malts.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah, I mean, the houses both got nice small bubbles. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, brilliant. I'm going to go with the light, the 3.8 first, the lighter kind of beer, your beer. Lovely carbonation, looks really good. Yeah, I've been dying for this all day. I'm gonna get my nose and get stuck in.
Cheers.
Cheers. Light and crisp, slight kind of grassy notes, I think.
Yeah, that's what I think the Hell's style is all about, really, isn't it? Light and crisp, refreshing.
Oh. Stone the Crows, my first beer in 2 days. Oh, fabulous, fabulous. It's lovely. Light, crisp, refreshing. Exactly what you need after pulling down walls, isn't it? Essentially. Work, you know, a solid day's work.
We'll add that to the sales pitch, I think.
So you put your beer in cans.
Yeah.
Is this your, especially during lockdown, is this your big sell?
Yeah, I mean, in the pub trade, which we've got a really nice, good following in East Anglia, this is our volume seller by, you know, some margin, closely followed by the Pilsner. But this is the one that normally finds its way onto the local taps as a permanent line, because it is a great alternative for the. It's not far removed from what a lager drinker expects. It's sessionable. It's light, crisp, refreshing, and it is like it's a craft alternative to someone that would normally go in and say, "Can I have a pint of Carlsberg?" You know, it's not a real punch in your face. It's a nice, light. You can drink it all afternoon at the barbecue, and you won't be on your backside. You know, it's just a nice beer. But yeah, in with lockdown especially, lager has been unbelievably popular, which has been good for us. And we've got the canning line, which meant we put all the production into the cans rather than the kegs. And this has been a really good one.
Fantastic. We got beers of it. Is my sound okay, everybody? Do I sound okay, Adam?
Yeah, to me, yeah, fine.
Great. We've got Beers of Europe in. They say Beers of Europe are in. They're saying hello, guys. How are we doing? So they're having a chat with Daniel Bale, who's ordered some of the beers from Beers of Europe. Oh, and we got a new member, Callum Thomas. Welcome to the Lifeboat. That's the £1.99 a month subscription. So thank you very much to Callum Thomas. And we got a £2 super chat from. The super chats are coming through. I was wondering if they'd come through on the stream now. They do. Brilliant. So I don't have to have this open, really. I'll keep it going anyway. But Joe Biden's Edge is £2, drinking Bitburger triple hop. Delicious. So Joe's from Canada, America. So Joe's not able to get the beer, but he's drinking something, I suppose, kind of, well, lager is a Bitburger, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Alan Mead, evening all, happy Tuesday, and hello to Adam. So thank you very much for the new membership and the 2 super chats who've just come in. Sorry, Adam, when they come through, I just like to mention the super chat.
Go for it. Yeah.
Thank you to everybody. So we've mentioned Beers of Europe. We've got some beer people in as well with other channels. We've got Wonder Beer Wonder saying evening chaps. They've got their YouTube channel going. It's a really good concept, Wonder Beer Wonder, where at the beginning Scott really liked beer and Wanda didn't like beer at all. So it was quite funny to watch because he'd really like the beer and she wouldn't like any of it at all. But over time, Wanda's now kind of getting on board and learning to like beer on YouTube, which is quite a fascinating little concept.
I've seen some of the videos.
Oh, you have? Oh,
yeah,
there we go.
I have,
They see. Here we are. Brilliant. And we got another super chat coming. Hi, both. How's it going? Stone the Crows. Adam, did you see the email from Beers of Europe before we came on?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Do you know? Did you mention it?
Yeah. Well, Beers of Europe are running a giveaway for a mixed box of all of the Calvors beers, one of our new beer glasses that way, and a coaster and little bits and bobs like that. And I think it's on the homepage of their website. All you've got to do is tap your email address, click on the link, type your email address in. I'm sure they'll correct me if I'm wrong, but then it just enters you into the competition.
Fantastic. So that's beersofeurope.co.uk. and we got a new member, Paul Goggin. Welcome to the lifeboat, keeping us afloat. Thank you very much to Paul Goggin for that. Shall we? Where do I put it? Shall we have a taste of the is it Andach or Anders? I've never been able to pronounce this brewery's name, but the people of YouTube always tell me the comments. They always say, "No, it's like this." Andex, is it, or Andex?
Yes, that sounds about right.
Yeah. I think Where's Your Hells is really clean, really refreshing. This for me is more. It's got a lot more body. It's not as. I don't think it's as clean. It's certainly. I don't know about you, but it's for me. This is not a session beer at 6.9%. If I had more of these, I think I would be in serious trouble.
Yeah, me too.
Fantastic.
It's powerful, isn't it? It is powerful. Maybe I wouldn't guess it was a 6.9 though. If I was asked, I don't. It's powerful, but it's not too much of a punch in the face, is it?
No, it's it's definitely got that. Like if it was just handed to you in the beer garden and it was boiling hot sun, you'd still drink it down quickly. I think, as if it was a session beer, and I think it's that classic Belgian idea, isn't it? You go to a Belgian pub and you have a couple of 9%, not thinking about it or not knowing about it, and then you get up to use the toilet. People apparently fall off the backs of their chairs and all sorts. You know, when the ABV.
I think it does creep up on you there, because I think you can taste it stronger after you've had it. It's a bit more of a stronger aftertaste, I think.
Oh, we got Craft Beer Lady tuned in as well. My wife is upstairs on the computer and wanted to be right. So yeah, Mel's watching and Mel's upstairs drinking a Calvors Session IPA.
She's on brand.
yeah. Comment, Mel. What do you think of the Session IPA? So yeah, a very both, but Bergbock. So Bock means strong in German. So it's a strong Hell's lager, whereas I think you've gone for the more just a really clean smash back. I mean, I love both. I love both.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Really good beers. This for me is your first beer of the night, or
the last four.
exactly that, or Sunday afternoon barbecue. You got some chicken on the barbecue. You know, you got a little mini fridge in your shed or whatever, and you just got some of the Hell's Lager in the fridge.
That's really the idea of this beer in terms of the draft, the pub trade, was that we wanted the second and third pint customers. You know, that's why it's a 3.8. That's why it's perfectly drinkable, sessionable.
Yeah.
And I think it does it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really good. We've got 240 people tuned in. I'm going to say, can you hit the like button? Can we get this out there? I know it's midweek. I know the sun is shining. I know a lot of you are probably sitting in your gardens, but can you hit the like button? Can we get as many likes as we got? We got 55 likes at the moment. Can we go big and bold? Can we get 100 likes in? If we can get 100 likes in, we got a really big chance of getting 300 people tuned in. We've been going 15. It does say somewhere how long we've been going. Oh, there we are. We've been going about 15 minutes. It's really good. I know the sun's shining. It's a nice night out there. But yeah, if we can get, we're on 88 likes. If we can get it 93, come on, we're firing towards 100 likes. So we are 96. Come on, smash that like button, guys. We're nearly there. Matt C, £1.99 or $1.99 super chat. So we got people from America. I tell you what we do, Adam. If you'd like to ask people the question I normally ask at the start of the stream, so that is kind of where are people from and what are they drinking? I've already done it. You
I'd
can
be
do it.
interested to know. If anyone has bought the Calvors beers from Beers of Europe, that would be good to know if you're drinking along as well. But yeah, otherwise, let us know what you're drinking. That'd be interesting.
Exactly, yeah. That's a good thing. How many people are drinking the Calvors beers tonight? How many people ordered them in? And if you haven't, of course, because we got people from all over the world, what are you drinking and where are you from? Okay, so they're coming in. Liam K is saying he's drinking Calvors. Double Doppelicious. Alex is saying, can I hear you? So we got Portsmouth. Simon, can you make sure Adam keeps his shirt on? I don't know if you're aware, Adam, if things get late into the night, people slap silly £20 super chats in for me to take my shirt off, and that's way into the night. I mean, but yeah, that's the little joke there. If I just want to let you know on that one. So someone's drinking Lech in the Black Country. We got people from Telford, Northern Monk, Faith, Ireland, Wine Stefana, Crystal Weiss, Jenkins drinking Faith. It's 4 a.m. in America. Well done, Scott, for waking up at 4 a.m. to watch this stream. That is really cool. Captain Meets His Ventures. Adam, any chance of getting beers in the super? Adam, is there any chance of getting your beers in the supermarkets?
Yeah, definitely. That's what we want to do, really. The canning thing is quite new for us. The brewery started as bottles, and then quickly sort of focused on the pub trade. We moved away from bottles, bought our own canning line last year. So the cans are very new for us still, really. And through lockdown, we've picked up quite a lot of really good retail customers, but it's not been the right time really to approach the supermarkets because of the supply issues. They've really been, if anything, limiting the lines that they take.
Right.
But yeah, hopefully, yes. And that would be a big boost for us as well.
Massive boost. But tonight, I mean, tonight is all about, I'd say, independent shops. The biggest independent beer shop, Beers of Europe, they're watching tonight. They're watching us. I think it's an interesting discussion. Maybe we can start it now and remind ourselves to talk about this a bit later on. I've had some of these £3 a can supermarket beers in Tesco, and I've had them when they were £6 or £7 a can just a few years ago, from the likes of Cloudwater and from the likes of Northern Monk. And for me, it's a different beer. It's a £3 can of beer instead of a £6 can of beer. But maybe we can get into all of that later. We'll remind ourselves to talk about that later on. But that's a really interesting subject we can cover later on. Is supplying beer to your local bottle shop and then scaling up to having an order from Tesco? A drop in quality?
Beer, local bottle shops, online independent people like Beers of Europe and alike, they have been absolutely incredible for us through lockdown. The support from those guys has been unbelievable, and that's really where we're at. And we're independent, fully independent, and we like to supply independent places. I don't think that our cans would necessarily fit on the craft beer shelves of supermarkets at the moment as one of the £4 for whatever pound offers, because ours would be at a lower price point. What we'd love to do is get like a 12-pack of lager in there, like your Camden Hells or your whatever. That's where we really would like to be at some point. But I never think we'll take our eye off the ball with the independents. Definitely.
It's a funny thing. It's a funny thing. I've done a little bit of feedback, something going on, but anyway, we have to just bear with us with that. Liam K is saying, loving Beers of Europe, great customer service, massive selection, and a great selection. There is. I mean, Beers of Europe, they've been sponsoring us, so they've been supporting you guys. They've also been supporting us on the channel. we had a really lean time back in 2014, where the channel was still very small. We're still trying to build a channel, and we were running out of beer, and it was quite. I just went out to Beers of Europe. I sent them an email, just the regular info at emails, and they'd heard of the channel, and they got back to me straight away. And within a week, they sent us 12 beers, and then they said, we'll do that every month going forward, because it's worked really well. And they've been with us since 2013. So I'll always remember the times where it was, because beer is expensive, isn't it? And especially if you a rate of knots of releasing 1 or 2 a day, it can become quite, especially if you're looking at some of the beers, £4, £5, £6 a can. But they at that point they said, yeah, we'll jump in, we'll become your channel sponsor. And it was probably a tipping point, if you like, from carrying on and stopping the channel. And then they kind of come along and give us the beer. We just thought, right, we'll give it another 12 months. And then things really took off. We started going to Poland and Belgium and Germany, and it just took off for us. So, yeah, they've helped during the lockdown. They've helped me. I think they're a great company, Beers of Europe.
Yeah, we can't thank them enough, really. It's been that sort of thing has kept us going, really. You know, we're in a place now to carry on. We've got all of our retail customers in East Anglia. You know, online people like Beers of Europe. You know, if we hadn't had them, would we be here? You know, we were a massive percentage pub trade before this, and we, like anyone that's going to come out of this strongly, had to sort of just change completely what we were doing, and we just went full packaged. And you know, thankfully it's worked, and we're in a position to carry on. So,
will you always be mindful of that going forward?
100%. I mean, when I say we were reliant on pubs, I mean, it got to the point we were probably 90% pub trade and a very limited amount packaged, which has been great, because it means we've got a massive following in east of England and beyond, mostly in the east of England, which is our patch, if you like. But yeah, we will never forget that again, because we've got a good following now on the can side of things. And with a can, every single can that goes out is marketing. You know, everyone that has that in their hand, every mixed box that goes out from Beers of Europe to Manchester or Cardiff or wherever, they might be seeing Calvors for the first time. And it's a free advert, you know. So it's
I'm going to try and turn my volume down a little bit to get rid of that feedback. But I must admit, when Beers of Europe sent me some of your beers in a box, I think was it 2 or 3 months ago?
Yeah.
That was the first time I'd heard of beers, but it's always, I still get that first time kind of buzz of opening a box of beer and seeing a new can and going, oh, and then you have a look on the back, where are they from? And you know, it's a buzz, like you say, it's marketing, because it's going all over the country. It's going all over the country.
Exactly.
So
that will always be a part now.
Always be a part going forward in terms of like packaged beer. What's your? I mean, I'm going to grab this lager as well and drink this while I'm. And then I suppose we'd better give the first round, haven't we? We'd better.
Yeah.
Cheers to the memberships. Consider joining us. There's a £2 super chat from Joe Biden Sanchez. Thank you very much, Joe. Really appreciate that. What's your take on the pub shed boom? And there's so many people building pub sheds. I tried to buy a summer house from B&Q. They told me you can have it in September. Was the backlog of their pub sheds, summer houses. People buying beer machines, blades, and crups, and putting fridges and filling their fridges with cans and bottles. Do you think when the pubs do open, they will open to a different landscape?
It's really interesting because I mean I'm sat in my bar now. You know, this is a summer house, and
Yeah.
so um, it's really funny actually because I was talking to one of my good friends who also is a customer, and he's got the Angel Pub in Woodbridge, and I said to him, you know, the off trade has been amazing through this lockdown period. Everyone's buying beer online, and it's just gone through the roof. And he, throughout this, as soon as he got the go ahead from the council to do so when it was safe enough, he was doing takeaway beer. He had a beer hatch type thing, flagons of beer. He's been buying beer from us, and he's done phenomenally well. He'll have like a queue of 2 meter distanced people round the car park and up the road because he's a nice guy as well. He draws people in. But the reason he's done that is because he had a concern that everyone's going to get used to buying beer from an online place in bulk, and then when the summer comes around and the easing stops a little bit or starts a little bit, sorry, people have
Yeah.
got used to it in the garden. So he wanted to stay relevant, and I think a lot of pubs that have been doing the takeaway beer thing, that's what they're doing. They're just trying to stay relevant with their customers, and I think, you know, I think it's going to work, you know. But having said that, going back to your question, I think there's no doubt that pubs are going to open in a different way.
Mm.
We've got 2 pubs of our own, and we're just scratching our heads of how to do it. Really, it's got to be safe for everyone, staff included. But people, I think, will be hesitant to sit inside a pub. I think outside is a different thing, but I don't know. It will definitely be different, 100%. And more people will stay at home. You know, they've found that they can get decent quality beer, whatever beer you're into. You know, you go on Beers of Europe, you can't not find a beer you like, and you can have it at home.
I live in a large town. I think it's the largest town in Wales. We do have. There was a massive investment before the lockdown. They're still building it miraculously. I thought they would have stopped straight away, but a complex, and it's going to be Barry's first ever brew pub, where they're going to be. I think they're called Craft Republic. Where they're going to be making the beer on site in a microbrewery and selling it in the front of house. And that I was really, really excited for that because where I live in Barry, three of the pubs have shut down. One's a Tesco, one's a Nisa cost cutter type place. And the other one's an old working man's club, which is still open, but you go in there and it's like Worthington's or Carling. And I think this lockdown will open people's eyes to the selection available online. You got, I mean, what's the old saying? Old habits die hard, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
So the fact that somebody literally they were forced out of the pub. They were told that Friday night in March that they had to leave the pub and they weren't allowed to go back. So you've probably heard it so many times where people would say, "Oh, I can't drink at home." Because I've been a bar manager a few times, worked behind the bar on and off for the last 20 years, and the amount of people who would say to me, "Oh, I can't drink at home." If my wife bought me 8 cans of John Smith's or whatever, and put them in the fridge, they would stay in the fridge for the next 6 months.
Yeah,
wouldn't be able to drink them. But being that old habits I had, being forced to drink at home, maybe that kind of person sees the benefits of it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, and also because they haven't had a choice necessarily, I think, you know, if they want to have a beer, they've had to have it at home. And then maybe they're thinking, well, actually, yeah, I can drink at home. You know, this is the thing. But I think personally, I would much prefer to drink in a pub or at least with a group. I think you get not drunk, that's the wrong word, but you get alive with the atmosphere and the socializing as much as you do with the beer. You know, you could sit there with one beer, but still have a great time. And you don't get that drinking a can on your own in your summer house, you know.
Yeah. On the flip side, I mean, as I just mentioned, the beer pub selection in Barry was quite dire. I think the best place to get a decent beer or something different, believe it or not, was Wetherspoons in Barry. You could buy something from 6 Point, their double IPA or an IPA or something in the fridge like a Hell's Lager or a Weiss beer. And it was just, you know, that would be in Barry, that would be my place to go. I do, yeah, definitely miss the pub. I can't wait to go back and have a meal and just relax and sit.
Yeah.
But unless my father-in-law is lucky enough, he lives in a pub. They're devising a plan where the pub's big enough where they've got 2 entrances, one either side of the pub. It's kind of a long pub, so they're devising a plan where you go in one entrance and go out the other.
Yeah, so that's a good idea.
System. If you've got a pub that's able to do that, brilliant. But some of the pubs are so small that they're going to struggle with that 2 meter distancing, aren't they?
Well, a lot of the ones that I'm talking to at the moment, they can't do it. Simple as that. Like if you have a pub and you've got to open at 2 meter distance, I mean, how much is that closing? How much is that limiting your customer base? And to open, then you've got to have the staff. Yeah. Unless you're a landlord owner, you know, an operator, you've got to have staff there. And to employ the staff, this is what I'm being told, and open with a 2 meter distancing, it's not going to work. They can't pay the bills that way. So every pub is different, you know, and it's not easy. As I say, we've got our pubs to consider as well, and it's not an easy thing to work out.
We got a 2 Joe Biden's dentures, and it's a question for you, Adam. Can you see it?
What's that?
It says, Adam, do you see lager as a ripe market in the UK?
Yeah, I do. I think there's lots of lagers around now. When we started, we were one of only 3 craft breweries in the UK, and now there are quite a few. There are some that don't just specialise in it; they do one here and there as sort of an extra, if you like, along with like IPAs or whatever. But I think, I mean, during lockdown, lager has been a massive seller, one of the biggest categories of beer, and I think now that craft lager and proper lager is an actual thing now, not just something that craft breweries say to sell more beer. It's recognised as a genuine thing. There's a difference between Carlsberg and a proper lager. I think that will stay around now, and people like Camden Hills have done a massive part in promoting that. You know, hats off to them. They started after us. Look at the size of them. So yeah, but they very
think,
good. So, yeah.
My brother-in-law is what's it called? Corona. He's a Corona drinker. He buys 2 limes on the weekend. He chops all the lime. But for the first time ever, and I never thought I'd see the day, he bought a 4-pack of Brewdog Lost Lager, and he bought a 4-pack of Camden Hells Lager, and he really enjoyed it. He really enjoyed it. And it's stepping stones, isn't it? It's slowly getting people into the beer. Yeah. Do you find that the bigger satisfaction for you guys, of course, other than sales, I mean, that's your main objective, is when people say, oh, I was a Carlin drinker for 20 years and I've tried some of your Pilsner and you've converted me, or I'm drinking. Do you find that's the biggest satisfaction?
Yeah. Do you know what? I love that. And that is one of the best things about going to shows and things, because as I was saying to you another time, I said, we don't do any of the weird and wonderful craft beers, you know. And sometimes even around craft beers show, you get people that themselves don't really drink like fruit punch, you know, 9% stouts or whatever. They just want a Pilsner or something.
Yeah.
And just to get that feedback is like, oh God, this is so good. That's just what I wanted, you know. But, you know, in the pub trade, if we can take off a Carlsberg and put the Hells or a Pilsner on that permanent line, that's just like, yes, that's what we're all about. And even in our pub, we get people coming in. It's a Calvors pub, all Calvors beers, and they say, "Have you got Carlsberg?" And you think, well, no, we haven't.
But
But
try this.
then, yeah, the staff explain what we're about, and then they say, "Oh God, this is so much better," you know. But and it's just because they haven't had it, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
if
Absolutely.
you got people that they drink Carlsberg and they like it, and that's what they stick to, and that's fine. You know, that's absolutely fine. And people drink, I don't know, Camden Hells. They like that. That's all they drink. Similarly, with you know, you find a beer you like, a lot of people stick with it. But yeah, to transfer someone over is brilliant.
Oh, I
Really
love
good.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that was when I was being a salesman myself about 3 years ago, taking off a Carlsberg or a Carling and putting on your own beer. That was like the ultimate achievement.
yeah,
As a beer salesman, you're like,
yeah,
yeah, I've really done my job here.
yeah.
Um, it's a slow old process. It really is. I'm not sure what the actual um, market share is for. It's quite high in the UK, isn't it? The real
Mm.
ale, real beers, compared to other countries, it's quite a high, something like a 60-40 split, isn't it? Or maybe 70-30.
Yeah, I mean, particularly where we are, probably the Beers of Europe guys would be able to say as well, but you get it regionally anyway. But in the east of England, we've got a massive ale heritage because we've
Mm.
got, you know, Green King, we've got
Yeah.
Adams, who are two of the biggest, you know, around. Which is one of the reasons, by the way, we never really went into ales. We
Mm.
focused on lagers. And there is a big following, and people do. There's a lot of people, you know, blokes of a certain age who go into a pub just to go straight for the Adams because they know what they're going to get.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you know that equally we've got a great following in East Anglia, and that's what coming out of this we've got to focus on that, and then try and build on that. But yeah, I think everywhere there's a move towards craft. There's a move towards real stuff, whether it's ale or lager, and food as well. You know,
Brilliant.
I think the buy local movement on food and everything was quite big before lockdown and the COVID situation, and I think that's only going to get bigger after. It's like we've gone a full circle, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got a super chat from Joel Morris. Thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Never heard of you guys before. We'll have to check out some of your beers. So thank you very much, Joel, for the super chat and checking out Calvors beers. Can you see the comments, Adam?
Yeah, I can see them. Yeah, I think they might be a tiny bit behind yours, but yeah, I've got it.
Brilliant.
Someone just said about our 3.8 lager. That is the same as this. It's just rebranded.
That's Dean's. I'm not sure if you're aware. That's Dean's beer reviews. That one. He's a cracking
Right.
painter and decorator. He's. I've just checked out. Well, recently checked out. He's rebranded his. Well, I think he's moved house and he's got this great big pub shed now, which was already there in his new house. And he's. If you have a look at his channel, Dean's Beer Reviews, you can see that he's starting to put loads of pump clips and just fitting out his great big shed. But he's got a great following. He's got over 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, so brilliant. So you've drunk some Calvors beers, Dean. Brilliant, fantastic.
Yeah.
What have we got? Anything else we can look at in terms of comments? I normally do it on the phone, so I can scroll back through the comments, but I don't think. We will do our best, guys, to get all your comments tonight. But if we do miss any, we do apologise in advance. Bonjour. There we are. Bands, Bikes and Booze Review says, can you ask Adam what hells he was trying to copy when they came out with theirs? It doesn't taste like any hells I've tasted from Germany. There you go, Adam.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you take this one, for example, I mean, Hells is essentially a light beer, and it's all about the hops. Sorry, all about the malts. So we use some lovely malts in this, and I think where we're coming from with this is what was the actual question before I waffle on? Can't see the question there.
Bands, bikes, and booze reviews. It's in the middle there. Quite a large comment. It says,
yeah,
"Can you?"
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's not really that we were trying to copy anything. It's just we wanted to make an English take on it that was going to be sessionable, and it's a stepping stone into craft beer, really. So, as I said to Simon, I said earlier that we want to have a craft beer, a genuine, properly lagered, brewed to the traditional, German rules and everything. That is not something that's a fake lager that's got artificial sugars put in it and all of this kind of thing. And this is a Hell's style lager with our English sort of take on it. That's where we're coming from. It's not really that we've tried to copy anything as such. We've just tried to take a style and put it into the English market that we think the English lager drinker of old, if you like, would appreciate.
I think, I personally, I mean, I think you should order some in for the channel and for your channel to review, because you're right, you're bang on right there, Adam. You can taste it's all malt lager. I like that. I find that was probably the turning point for me, because very early on in my YouTube career, the word lager was, I didn't want to know. I was called the Real Ale Guide, and I was fully focused on real ales and whatnot. But then you kind of do not a full circle into drinking those maize lagers that are produced, or the rice lagers. But you can get a couple of decent rice lagers in China, and Japan and countries like that. But the all malt lager was the beer that changed, the lager that changed my mind.
Yeah, I mean,
this is good stuff.
It's all it's Propino malt, and it's like a Pilsner lager sort of malt, and it's really well refined as well. We do it a little bit differently to they do in Europe. So the malt that comes out is a much higher spec, and we sort of add flavors throughout the whole brew. But we're happy with it. I think it's nice, and we only use whole leaf hops as well. There's no pellets or anything in there, which is still quite unique in the industry, I think.
We've got a comment. Sorry, Adam.
Yeah,
Daniel Bayer, and he says, I like the fact I purchased a case of 12 from the Calvors website and it arrived the next day. Was very pleased with the ordering process.
That's good. Pleased to hear it.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Good. Is that yourself? This boxing all the beers?
Sometimes, yeah. If local deliveries we do on our runs into the trades, so we drop them off and have a little chat with the customers or whatever. If you're a bit further afield, they always go out the same day. If they are received before midday, they'll get packed, put on the courier, they collect, send it out, and it's the next day service. So they'll normally be with you the next day or the day after at least.
That was my next comment. When that person clicks and pays with a Visa, what is the process? And then I got a follow-up question then from Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews, who asked you about the copying of the styles. Makes a big thing. Like the Americans of the IPA, they changed and they made it their own. British lager with some sort of twist that makes it uniquely British without any of the rubbish added in your in your mission statement. That's what it says. Okay, so Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews is agreeing with what you're saying in terms of taking a British take on your lagers. But yeah, explain when people hit that, they put their visa into the internet. Explain that process to get the beers out the next day. That'd be cool.
Yeah, fine. Well, it goes straight through to my colleague Charles, who I think is watching and probably laughing at me. It's through his computer. Straight away, as I say, if it's a local one, it will get filed for our Wednesday, Thursday, Friday deliveries. If it's an out of area one, he will grab that, put it onto the accounts, go and pick it, put it onto the courier, put it by the door, and they come and pick it up. So it's all done the same day.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Yeah.
Joe Biden Sanchez, yeah, you thank you for reminding me, because of course I'm in conversation. Can we hit the like button on this? We got 145 likes. We got 256 people watching. Still, the sun's out. It's still a nice night. So I totally understand why it's probably a little bit low for tonight. It is a Tuesday though, but if you hit the like button, we can get the stream out there further afield. If you want to tweet it out to your friends and family, stick it on Facebook or whatever, saying I'm having a drink along with an actual brewing company, that would be fantastic. So do that. We got 150 likes, 160. Can we do 200 likes? Hit the like button. Let's get 200 likes. That would be fantastic. So, are you ready to move on to our next round of beers, Adam?
Yes. So it's the Vienna next, yeah?
The Vienna Lager, and is that going against the Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Perfect. Brian the Beer Snob was saying, are Calvors available in the USA? What's
Not yet.
You guys?
No. Well, yeah, I mean, export was one of the very next things we were getting onto prior to the COVID situation. But obviously that sort of thing had to take a back step. But yeah, it's still very much on the cards. At the moment, though, I'm afraid it's not. Unless there's something that Beers of Europe do, I'm not entirely sure.
I think Beers of Europe are UK only as well at the moment. But I mean, yeah, the World Wide Web is it's a fascinating thing. It's a fascinating thing. While that settles down, would you like to give a quick history of Calvors Brewery, Adam?
Yeah, sure. Well, Calvors started in 2008. Our founder and the director and head brewer and everything is Alec Williamson, and he started the brewery on his family farm. So we started off with the what was called Premium, which is now Pilsner. Same beer, just different brand. And the whole idea behind the brewery was that he couldn't find a decent, properly lagered, properly brewed traditional lager locally. We've got loads of great ales in the east of England, and he looked at ales but didn't want to just be known for taking a little bit of someone else's market and trying to get into a market that was well represented anyway. So he went into lager, and he'll be the first one to admit that the first few brews he put straight on the farm, spread it on the farm, but then he got it right. Very quickly won a gold Zebra award for the Premium, and then looked into all of the other beers gradually. Got the pubs, and so yeah, we're really close. As I say, it's on a family farm. We're very close to getting the whole circle of growing the malt, having the malt malted, using the malt. Growing the barley, having it malted, using it to brew. We on the farm they do grow barley, but we have to get it up to the right spec and all this kind of thing. But we will get there, and we're very close to this nice circle because all of the spent grains go on the compost heap. It all goes back on the farm. Environment was always one of the big things for the brewery. Very close to us, and we try to do everything as eco as possible. But as we've said before, we're all about craft alternatives to the mainstream, really.
I'm going to grab this comment before it disappears. It's by Paul Hewlett. Used Beers of Europe for the first time last week. Got a nice range of Dunkels and Weiss beer delivered. Only took 4 days. We'll be ordering again. There we go. And Beers of Europe have replied to that, saying, good to hear. Thanks for your feedback. We got bands, bikes, and booze reviews again is another question for you. Adam, why call it British Lager and then call your house Dunkel Vienna? Why not just British Lager? I think, you see, not having a dig, but it's basically, personally, I think it's a style. I think
Yeah.
a Vienna Lager is a Vienna style lager. You use darker malts. Sorry, I'm having my say, and then you can have yours say, Adam.
Yeah.
But I personally, I think a Hell's Lager is a style in its own right. It's light, it's drinkable. It can be a number of things as long as long as it's light and drinkable in my eyes. And then what was the other one? The Dunkel, which is fabulous. That's probably, if you don't mind me saying, that's probably my favourite beer in your range is the Dunkel. It's very close. It's very close to being a Dunkel. It is a Dunkel. It's using German malt. It's probably using German yeast, German hops. So it's a British take on classic styles that have been around for hundreds of years in Germany. Yeah. Okay, the Germans have had hundreds of years to refine the style and nail it and pass it through the generation for their families. You don't have the kind of the benefit of that, but I think you've gone down the right track with this. I like the way you've gone about things. Anyway, you have your little.
I mean, as you said, the names of our beers are all for the style. They're either the style or the name of the hop, as in the Amarillo Pale Ale that we've got. You know, I think you could go to an English country pub that is serving lasagna, and you wouldn't expect them to call that English pasta with mincemeat and tomato sauce. It's exactly. A lasagna, you know. A Hell's is a style of beer, as is a Pilsner, as is a Dunkel. We're in England, it's our take on that German beer. But, you know, I'll take the criticism, and it's interesting, actually, because the Dunkel used to be called Dark. As I said, we rebranded all of our beers to make them not misleading, actually, but exactly the opposite. So everyone knew exactly what it was. You can call it a dark lager, which it is, but at the end of the day, it's a Dunkel style. It's proved to be our version of a Dunkel. So that's sort of where we're coming from.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I give you a long-winded version. You went straight, fantastic. Yeah, lasagna. Lasagna, whether it's from Italy or the UK, it's still a lasagna.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
They're looking very similar, actually.
They're looking very similar, and this is the point. This is the point. This is Brooklyn Brewery's take on an amber lager, they called it.
Yeah.
And I mean, generally, Vienna lagers are dark, kind of amber in colour.
Yeah.
I'm going to be perfectly honest, and I'm going to say I've got mixed up.
Yeah, I'm doing the right and the left just to make sure about this.
So I can go properly blind taste test here, and I'm pretty sure I'll be able to work out the right one. Here we go. I think that was the Brooklyn. Definitely, I think that was definitely the Brooklyn. I don't know. they're both really good. They're both really good.
I think ours is slightly more biscuity. You can really taste the sort of biscuit.
One is really sweet. Really sweet.
Yeah.
Is that the Brooklyn Lager?
I'm not sure. I think the Brooklyn has a little bit more caramel.
Yeah. I say sweet. Other people say caramel. Yeah, I think that's the.
It's slightly more hoppy as well, actually, the Brooklyn. I think they dry hop those.
That I tell you what, let's hold it up to the camera. Hold up your Vienna Lager, and it should look exactly that. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
very close, very close. I'll
They
pay
are
more
very
attention because I'm asking so many questions and reading so many comments. I just lost my way a little bit. But Adam, you'll have to do this round.
I think the Vienna, if you smell it, it's a little bit more hoppy. But I think they dry hop it. I think it says. I think have you got the bottle there? I think they dry hop it a little bit.
The Brooklyn.
Yeah. Ours is probably more malty and biscuity, bit nuttier.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. So ours is a mix of malts. This one, obviously, it's got amber malt in there, and also a little bit of the caramels and things. But yeah, so it's a mixture of about, I think it's 3 or 4.
Nye Johnson says he's got no idea. It's quite a big task. It's quite a big task. Speaking to Adam, never met Adam before, interviewing Adam, reading comments, asking people to hit the like button, pouring beers. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Is that aimed at you or me though?
No, me. I'm sure. People are saying Simon's going to start talking about Fleshy Blood Orange in a moment, which I generally talk about with beer. Oh, here we go. This is by Mel upstairs, my wife. Adam, who has been doing your hair? Very talented.
That's my wife.
Is it?
She did give me a bit of a tram line. Now I wasn't all that happy about that, but no, she's done all right. She's done all right.
I haven't had a haircut. I'm going to get Mel to cut my hair one day.
Yeah, no, I'm quite lucky. She works in a hair salon. She's not a hairdresser, but she's the beautician. But she's obviously picked up some tips along the way.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. Right, what have we got in the comments? Enjoying a high wire, almost West IPA now. Okay, yeah, Brian the Beer Slam. So, yes, let's ask people again. Where are you from? Where are you from, and what are you drinking? Where are you from? What are you drinking? Um, 500 likes and a live haircut from Mel. Do a live head shave. Oh, yeah. That'd be cool. Here we go. Joe Biden's Dangers. Adam, what is your personal favourite style of beer?
I am a bit of a sucker for a Pilsner, to be honest. I do like a Pilsner, and I am probably more of a lager person anyway, but yeah, Pilsner for me.
Pilsner. Yeah, I like that crisp, clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like a Pilsner.
Yeah. But having said that, before I got into the craft thing, I'd never had a Dunkel, and I think that's an amazing style personally. I really love them.
Oh yeah, massive fan of Dunkel. Massive fan of Dunkel. Calvors Vienna. That's what they're drinking down there. That's what Matthew's drinking from Beers of Europe. And Matthew's saying, Simon, are you visiting East Anglia after lockdown? I think that should be one of the first things we do.
Yeah, definitely.
Is come down. Maybe brew a lager that you guys haven't brewed yet. Is that possible? Maybe do a collaboration.
Yeah. We are up for all that sort of thing. We're going to be massively focused on the lager going forwards, as we always have been. We've done ales and things, but lager's where our heart is. And we've got a big brewery and a small brewery. And there's talk about doing a little bit more with the small brewery as like our experimental sort of thing.
Yeah.
So and now we've got the cans. You can do potentially a smaller batch and put it into cans, and that's what the craft beer is all about, isn't it? Really, just that world is all about just bringing something new out when you can, and maybe we'll do something a bit wacky.
That would be amazing. Yes, yeah, Beers of Europe scene. Yeah, come down. I'd love to go and visit Beers of Europe as well. Yeah. Apparently, it's a massive place with beer. Loads of.
You can't believe the size of it. I mean, it's. I've not been yet, but the place is ridiculously big.
Mm.
If you walk in there and think, well, I like this type of beer, you can't walk out having not found it. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Sounds like a plan. How about a Black or Dunkel, Simon and Adam? Yeah, we could do that. We could do that. I mean, they've done it. They've done it, but I'm sure we could do something. We could do something.
Yep.
I mean, I tell you what would be a good idea is if you guys commented in the comments box to maybe suggest something that we brew when this is over. Maybe do like, because I mean the support we've had from Beers of Europe is amazing. Maybe we do a three-way collaboration between the three of us, Beers of Europe, myself,
Yep.
and Calvors as the brewer. That'd be great.
There's a comment from Garage Project there. Is that Garage Project New Zealand or?
Where to? We go on, have a read of it, and I'll try and find it.
Colin Byrne. That's what we did at Garage Project. Core range in a big brewery, experimental, unique styles in the wild workshop. That's kind of what we're sort of considering. But I know there's garage beer in New Zealand, but I don't know if that's them or not.
I think Collins sent me an email saying that he worked at Garage Project. So hello, Colin.
Yeah.
From Garage Project. Hello, cool. Yeah, we do get quite a lot of brewers tuned in as well, which is cool. And we've got a rather large YouTube channel just joined us as well called Hop Scene. He's my friend Rob Derbyshire. We've kind of gone through the ranks together, me and Rob, been to many British beer festivals together, and the Great British Beer Festival, all over the UK we've been together. But Hopson's saying, can we brew a Baltic porter that uses lager yeast? Is that possible, Adam?
Don't see why not. Yeah, we'll have to get Alec to get onto that one. That's above my knowledge, I'm afraid.
Brilliant. Yeah, Baltic porter for me, one of the beers that I've said this story many a time, but I'll say it very quickly. First time I went to Poland in 2013, we stopped off in the middle of the night because I landed 9-10 o'clock in the night, and then we had to travel across Poland to the brewery we were brewing at. I'll get the £5 super chat in a moment. I just want to finish this story quick. So we stopped off in the middle of the night at this petrol garage, and I was starving. And they said, "Do you want anything to eat?" And I said, "Yeah, I want that pizza there." And I think they were like, didn't want to say nothing because they just met me. But I think this pizza was sat there all day, in a warm, being kept warm. So I had this pizza, and I ended up getting food poisoning.
Oh.
So the next day, a bit of a mess. Wasn't brewing too far away from the cubicles, and I said, I can't do this. I said to them, Zemek, the owner of Brava Pinta in Poland, I said, I'm struggling. I'm really, really struggling. I feel really ill. And he said, look, we need to go back in the car, half an hour's drive. We're going to Brewery Żywiec. You know the Żywiec lager?
Yeah.
So I got there and they spoke in Polish to the head brewer, saying, he's in trouble type of thing. And they brought me out a big glass of Baltic porter. It was like 12%. Have you heard of Żywiec porter from Poland?
No, I haven't.
It's like the number one Baltic porter in Poland. So they brought me out this big stein thing of Żywiec porter. It was about 10%. And they said, kilo cure. And I started sipping at this beer. I instantly felt better. And I sat there and I drank this whole thing in like 5 minutes. And I wasn't perfect, but I was a million times better.
Oh, amazing.
I carried on with my day.
Excellent. Well, you'll have to put a recipe together then. We'll do that one.
But a Baltic porter, yeah, because I've got a real big story behind that. Really big story. The £5 super chat from Joe Biden's Dentures is a question for Adam.
Yeah.
And it says, Adam, craft lager is exploding in popularity in the US. Pardon me, sorry. I think you are onto something. Cheers to Beers of Europe for sponsoring tonight. Yeah, so just a little shout out, really.
Yeah.
Craft lager is exploding in the US. I'd say we're always 3 or 4 years behind the US, but you're definitely kind of onto something. I suppose just keep digging away, yeah? Keep doing what you're doing.
That's absolutely right. I mean, like I said before, we started in 2008, and we should be better known than we are now. We should be. There's no doubt about it, because we're confident in the beers. We think they're good, and it's just things come in the way. And in our situation, it was pubs. Pubs take a lot of managing, and we're not a big team. We're not marketing experts or anything like that. People have started after us and got a bigger name, which is fine. We've done well in the east of England, and that's where we've got to have as our platform to build from. But yeah, our mission now is to really sort of take this on now, because we've got some good beers, which I hope everyone who's had them would agree. It's not to everyone's taste. People like some stronger stuff. People like fruit punch stuff, whatever. But
yeah,
we're confident in them, and we are going to run with it now. And as soon as we can get them to the US, we'll do it.
This is a good question in your role with Calvors. How are you going to kind of mechanize social media to work for you guys at Calvors? Like the YouTubes here tonight, the Facebooks, the Instagrams. Do you realize how it's massively important? You probably already had realized that, but
100%. I mean, I've not been with the brewery all that long, but Alec is a good friend of mine for many years, and so I've always followed the brewery, know what it's all about, and been hugely respectful of what he's managed to do. And we have increased our social media following by 400% or something since the beginning of this year.
Wow!
Just by doing stuff, And we know that what we need to do is consumer level marketing to get to the point where people go into a shop or into a pub asking for a pint of Calvors or a can of Calvors, and that's what we're all about now. We are just trying to do as much as we possibly can to get the name out there, because as I said a minute ago, we're confident in the beer. We've just got to get everything behind it, and this sort of thing is perfect. I'm hugely grateful for this. We do what we can on social media, on Instagram, and we do a giveaway here and there now and again, but it's just, you just got to plow through. You just got to carry on doing it, and that's the thing with social media. Once you start, you have to keep doing it and stay relevant and post relevant information. But we're getting there. We're getting there.
It can become. This is just me speaking of experience. It really can become like you're in a hamster's wheel, or you're kind of like on a treadmill, a constant. Some of the biggest YouTubers out there, Casey Neistat, he was doing a daily vlog, gathered millions and millions of subscribers, running around on his skateboard in New York. And he made a video about 3 years ago. But before that, I just want to say, Brian the Beer Slab is saying, Adam, put me on your list for when you start shipping to the USA. And that's a £5 super chat. So thank you very much.
Oh, amazing. Thank you very much.
The Beer Slab for saying, when you start shipping to the USA, let people know on social media, I suppose. That's his question.
Yeah, absolutely. All I'd say is to all you guys is thank you, but also follow us on whatever platforms you use. Instagram is the one we try to do a lot on, and that will be all of the information on that sort of thing. Yeah, she's getting upset that I was ignoring her, so I've had to pick her up.
Brilliant, fantastic. Yeah, so the question is that, or what I was saying was, Casey Neistat was doing these amazing blogs from New York City on a daily basis, and he made a video, I think about 3 years ago at Christmas, saying in December that I can't do this anymore. It's simply like mind-bogglingly, like I'm putting like 12, 14 hours a day into these videos and just simply can't nearly knock my beard over, but simply can't do it. But he described the experience as just being on a treadmill for 3 or 4 years of his life. But if you can feed that treadmill, if you've got the stamina to stay on that kind of like your Twitters, your Facebooks, your YouTubes, and really concentrate on that, I think it's a. And of course, the beer is great. You've already got the beer. It's already great. I'm going to change that at all. It's about shouting about it, and it's about shouting about it on a daily basis. It really is. That's my little bit of advice.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate it. It's hard because I have got a slight marketing background, and I know the power of social media, but I also know how it can turn people off you, because you have to post relevant stuff. It's no point just saying, "Here's another picture of our can of Session IPA." It's just boring. But this sort of thing lead up to this has been a good opportunity. We had Beer Day, Britain National Beer Day yesterday, so I posted a series of 9 posts about what we're all about, the frequent questions that we get asked, and that sort of thing. And yeah, people like all that sort of thing. People are into beer, but beer's fun, Beer's good. It's a thing to learn about. It's a thing to get involved about,
Yeah.
So I think there's plenty we can say about things.
Gary's come through with a great comment. I think people have. I've been doing a lot of work today on the house. I probably started about 7 o'clock this morning, and there's a guy. I'm not sure if you can see Gary Fearson's comment. Let's read it out without the language, mind. Watching Simon trying to stand up straight is like watching a half-airbag woman walking home in high heels, effing admittedly denying being half airbags. We've also, I read it, but I didn't get to it. Beers of Europe have asked us, can we compare the two? And I think I'm going to hand you over to that. I'm going to hand Adam over on this one because, yeah, I got mixed up.
I've got to be honest, I think they are really, really similar. I think if I had to, the Brooklyn is hoppier, I would say. Definitely hoppier, because I think they dry hop it as well. Ours is more biscuit. They're both good though. Obviously ours is good, but I'd say that.
I found it by, I got some in the can and the bottle. Yeah, I'd say your Vienna lager it's got you're definitely right. It's a bit more maltier. The Brooklyn lager is slightly kind of hoppier, but it depends. I suppose it depends on kind of what people want. Do they want an amber lager that's slightly hoppier, or do they want a Vienna lager that's slightly sweeter and slightly maltier?
I think it's fair to say they're both Viennas. They're both true to Vienna.
Yeah.
Style. You've got a maltier or a hoppier. Where someone commented earlier that malty lagers are not for them. They prefer something a bit hoppier. Then the Brooklyn would be totally the one for you if you wanted a Vienna lager. I'm more malty, I'm more of a lager drinker anyway, but I like the malty stuff, and I'd probably pick R1 for this round.
We got an $8 super chat from Scott Ryan, and he's saying it's 5 a.m. in Australia. I've woken up specially for this. When or if ever will you ship to Australia? And that's the Calvors Brewery.
If ever, yes. When? No idea.
We got Kent Beer. So thank you, Scott, for the $8 super chat. And then we got Kent Beer Reviews, great guy, Craig Samuels, down your way. Found and followed all the social media handles.
Thank you.
Kent Beer Reviews, you're near Shepherd Neame, I think, aren't you? Faversham way. Let us know in the comments box. You probably not too far away from Calvors, I don't imagine.
No, we're Ipswich. Well, sorry, Needham Market, which is close to Ipswich. So we are just down the just off the A140. But he'll know where that is, yeah.
And we got Joe Biden's Dentist saying, Scott, that was the £8 super chat, $8 super chat. Good morning, mate, from Ohio. So Joe Biden's Dentist is from Ohio. It's amazing, isn't it, Adam? We're standing in our relevant beer sheds and our little kitchens, going online, and we're speaking to people from all over the world, really. The UK, Ohio, Australia. It's just fantastic. It never ceases to amaze me.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think it's to have people from Australia, America. It's ridiculous. It really is fantastic. Great. Yeah. Then we've got a local lad, Neil Smith, Woodbridge. So he's
cool.
He'll know of the Angel in Woodbridge who has our Pilsner on tap. Yeah, go and check him out. Good lad, Chris Maybe. Yeah, that's amazing.
Joe Exotic is saying, can I ask Adam a question, please? Go on, Joe. Ask Adam a question. We'll look out for Joe Exotic's question. Have you watched the Tiger King on them?
Yeah, I was going to say I'm not going to kill Carol Baskin for him if that's what he's going to ask. Someone's asking what that car is. I don't know, but it's a Ferrari.
Cool. Lovely.
Yeah.
Right, so Beers of Europe are saying win a box of Calvors. The giveaway is on our website tonight. So if you hit the landing page, the front page of Beers of Europe's website, which is www.beersofeurope.co.uk, they're giving away a mixed box of Calvors beers, a glass,
a coaster and
coasters, like and bits and pieces. Yeah, so there's a giveaway going on tonight, which is really cool.
That's on their homepage.
There we go. Look at that. There we are. Fantastic. So that's the homepage. There we are. Tile on the right hand side. The wind tile. Right. Okay. There's a wind tile.
We've got another guy on here, Brian B. He's from Lancia Road. That's in Ipswich. He's about probably 2.5 miles from where I'm sitting now.
Cool. Brilliant. It's amazing to have, like, so people have obviously found out about this through Beers of Europe. They've tuned in. We've picked up a lot of subscribers through this event. So thank you very much to everybody new who's tuned in tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in. I just read Joe Exotic's comments.
Can we do a lager called Tiger Piss?
Put me off a little bit, but yeah, it's amazing that we got people from Ohio and Australia, and then of course people down the road from you. So brilliant, fantastic.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Shall we do?
Someone's asking where the name Calvors comes from. So the name Calvors was the original name of the farm that the Williamson family bought. So that's where the name comes from. It's now called Home Farm, but the logo that we use there is actually the original family farm sign from 2 generations ago. So that's where that comes from.
Fantastic. Dylan Harrison, thank you very much. Much appreciated. So we got 250 people tuned in. We got 194 likes, which is absolutely fantastic. Can we hit the like button? Can we go? Should we be greedy? Go for 220 likes? That would be absolutely fantastic. I'd really appreciate that. hit that like button, guys. It's just down below here. Brilliant. There we go. We just passed 200 likes. Shall we do the Dunkel comparison? Or I tell you what, I've got it now. I've managed to work out the. Well, I've definitely got it because here is the Brooklyn Lager, and here's the Vienna Lager. Should we give a rating as to what we think is gonna win this round? I've always been as honest as they come. I think the Vienna Lager is more sessionable.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
but at the same time, I love the hoppiness in the Brooklyn Lager. I'm gonna just be open and say I'm really stuck on this one.
That's pretty much what I was going to say to you, because if you're more into the hoppy thing, then the Brooklyn Lager is really, really good. And as I said earlier, I'm more in favour of the malt. So if I were nothing to do with Calvors, I'd probably, for my own personal taste, go for the Vienna. But I think this is equally a stunning beer. I really do. And that's yeah.
We got it. Can you see the from Joe Biden? This is just a funny question. I'm gonna read that one.
If I had to fight one, lion, grizzly bear.
Lion or a grizzly
bear? Well, I don't know really. I don't. It's not something I've ever been asked before. Probably go for a lion though, because I don't know why, but maybe I'll be able to talk it down a little bit better than the grizzly bear.
Maybe. But this is the beauty of the. I mean, it's classic. I've had a few. You know, it's pub talk, isn't it? It's exactly what would be kind of asked. You know, if someone was leaning against the bar and said lion or grizzly bear, and you'd had a few, it would be like perfectly like a relevant question. And I like the fact that because we're reading it, I think it goes into a different part of your brain.
Yeah, it must do. Yeah. And you probably use less swear words in the answer as well, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Grizzly bear, hug a bear. Yeah,
that's quite funny.
Brilliant. Okay, so shall we move on to the Dunkels?
Yeah.
So we have Calvors Dunkel Lager, 4.5% ABV, versus the Hacker Schwor Münchner Dunkel. Personally, I think this might be my favourite round. I love dark lager. I really do. I'm gonna open. Oh, this is a popper. This is a swing neck bottle. Scott Ryan, £2.99 Australian dollars. Simon and Adam, your favourite Aussie beer. Go on, Adam. What's your favourite Aussie beer?
What's the one they drink in Neighbours? No, I'm joking. Favourite Aussie beer? Well, I'm not going to say Foster's, that's for sure. But, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I think only because I review beer from all over the world, and I'm very thankful that people send me beer from all over the world. I got some fantastic people in Australia who support the channel. My favourite beer from Australia would be Old Man. Is it Shout at the Cloud? Old Man Point at the Cloud. It's a reference to The Simpsons. You know, the old Homer's dad.
Oh yeah.
It's like that kind of similar, but I think it's called Old Man Shouts at the Clouds or something. It was a double IPA, really hazy, fantastic beer. Old Man shakes fists at the cloud. Yeah, it's something like that, Mersey beers. But I think the people who are tuned in from Australia will know straight away that beer. Philip James is saying a VB long neck. Do you have your phone available, Adam?
My phone, yeah.
Go on to YouTube and put in VB long neck, and
Right.
it's only a 30-second video, but you'll see this.
The first thing that came up. First thing that came up.
If you're a fucking feeding a fucking full-blown Aussie, this is what you'd have for breakfast, you fucking dog. A fucking VB long neck at 20 to 8 the fucking morning. Get that up, yeah.
Love it.
Get that up, yeah. That's a good one, right there.
20 to 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
There's your VB long neck. So yeah, I've just poured the Munchener Dunkel.
Just while you pour that Dunkel, I've got to let my dog in the house, Simon. Just one second.
Yeah, you carry on, my friend. A VB long neck, 20 to 8 in the morning. Brilliant. I love that video. Right, so this is a look at the Calvors Dunkel. And this is the look of the... I've used, I mean, the German beers. So I've used a German Weiss beer glass. It's the closest I have to a German glass. Again, if you look at these beers, they're very, very similar in the colour. Joel Morris, £4.99. Adam, do you make any IPAs or is it just lager you make? That's by Joel Morris. Well, I think I can answer that one for Adam while he left the dog in the house. So they have they do have an Amarillo Pale Ale that's 3.8% ABV. Can you see the super chat from Joel Morris?
One sec.
Big green comment there.
Oh yeah.
Do you make any lagers? Sorry, do you make any IPAs or is it just lagers? I've just shown them this.
Yeah. We make because we were largely pub trade before COVID situation. And we had our own pubs. We do make cask ales, a mixture of American and English style ales. We do a session IPA, which is 4.2%, so a little bit lower than a traditional IPA. We do Old English style best bitters, our Suffolk Graduate, which is really popular. Smooth Operator, which is a pale ale. And the Amarillo in cans as well, which is, again, it's a sessionable thing, you know, it's a sessionable pale ale.
Seems to be exactly that. My next thing I was going to mention is that everything is very sessionable. Everything is kind of like one. I can imagine going into one of your pubs and you've got 6 lines on, probably more, but yeah, you've got 6 lines on for argument's sake, and you can go from one to another, can't you? Quite easily. You can go from like a lager to a session IPA to a Dunkel, and sun shining, beer garden, brilliant. I do like. I will admit though, I'm sure you're the same, Adam. Is that I do like this new phase of New England IPA. Have you tried these cloudy, hazy IPAs?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's they're all you've got to take them for exactly what they are, you know. And I like them. I like traditional IPAs. I like the Jaipur and all that sort of thing. Double IPAs, you know, New England IPAs, Deepers, all that sort of thing. You know, they've all got a place, and they're all really good. And there's a lot of breweries out there now doing some really good stuff.
Yeah, I think
for us, you know, that's not necessarily a lot of what we do, because we are more about you know, sessionable beers, really. That's not to say, as I mentioned earlier, we're really keen to go into some more of the wacky sort of market with our experimental little brewery, you know.
Yeah.
But for the time being, obviously, like a lot of people, we have to focus on what we do well already, and get stronger after this period and that sort of thing. But yeah, we'll be doing all that sort of thing as well.
Personally, I think that from somebody who drinks a lot of New England IPAs and a lot of Imperial Porters, Imperial Stouts, a lot of my following, they love to see that sort of thing.
Mm.
I think what you guys are doing is slightly kind of off-centered, if you like, and it's if it's growing in America massively, you guys have already hit that, because I've heard for years. I've heard for years, and I hear it a lot from some well-respected head brewers. I was in Sweden last year. I went to the Bruskival in near Copenhagen, just Helsingborg. That's it, Helsingborg in Sweden, and everybody was drinking during the day New England IPAs, Imperial Porters, Imperial Stouts. There was the first day we were drinking Imperial Stouts at 14% at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And how we got through that day, I'll never know. But it's always because a lot of the head brewers were there from their breweries as well. And I remember waking up Sunday morning, sitting, having breakfast in the hotel, and there was a lot of other brewers there, and we kind of just so happened that I was sat across the way from somebody from Tool, from Denmark, and a few other well-respected head brewers. And I just come out with that. I just said, look, I really enjoyed drinking all of these wonderful kind of Imperial Stouts and Imperial Porters and whatnot. But if you gave me a daily driver to choose from, it'd be a Pilsner. And they all kind of like, I just thought it was just, I was eating my egg on toast type of thing. It was just like an off-the-cuff conversation thing. And they all kind of like, they almost dropped their forks and knives and went, that's all we want to drink too.
Yeah.
Because I was just kind of like this beer reviewer who drinks all these wonderful different styles of beer. On my days off, if you like, because I do this full time, I'm quite happy with a Pilsner or a Dunkel or a, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that because I'm sitting in front of a lager brewer as yourselves, but I've told a lot of people on the channel this previously that days off from beer, I just want a really, really good Pilsner. Clean, crisp, Warsteiner type Pilsner from Morrison's. It's fantastic.
That's quite interesting because, you know, one of our kind of what we follow on the sort of sales side with the craft beer bottle shops, all that sort of thing is, yeah, you've got all of your DIPAs and your New Englands, you've got your 8% this and your 7.5% this, but have the Calvors 4-pack or 12-pack by the door, because if they're going there before a barbecue, they'll buy these, you know, 4 of the, you know, kick you on your ass type strong beers, and buy a 4-pack or a 12-pack of Calvors at 3.8 for the rest of the afternoon. Now that's the idea of where we're coming from, and I love all the beers that you review and that style of thing as well. But if I was sat around having a barbecue with the family, I wouldn't be able to drink that because I'd be saying all sorts of stuff in front of the mother-in-law. You know, it's not appropriate.
Exactly. exactly. Thank you very much to Joe Biden for the super chat. The choice Adam gave for fighting a lion or a bear was cool. Okay, yeah. Matthew from Beers of Europe, brilliant. Let's drive it back to the Dunkel. So where are you so far, Adam?
Well, you can see ours is the one nearer the camera, which is lighter.
Yeah.
And that was done on purpose. And this will go back to the guy from the US who's saying, well, is it a real Dunkel? And my argument would be, yeah, it is, because it's lighter than a traditional Dunkel, but that was done, as we've said before, as to not alienate the English lager drinker. Because if they were poured pint of that, bearing in mind we first brewed this like 12 years ago, when the craft beer scene maybe wasn't as big. If a lot of people say, well, I don't want a stout, I asked for a lager. And that's why we've done it like this. It's brewed the Dunkel style, slightly lager than a traditional Dunkel, but there's 5 malts in that, including chocolate malt. But
Brilliant.
I think they don't taste dissimilar. I think it's a stepping stone into the traditional German Dunkel, I think.
I think your Dunkel is exactly what you mentioned. There's that kind of this is not what I asked for. Not attitude. Attitude would be the wrong kind of. Somebody said I can't stand people who can't tell a Carlin from a Budweiser. But this, I think this is more of a what would I say? It's still very much a backbone of a lager, but then you have a little bit of roasted malt in there.
Yeah, I think
it's not a million miles too far to the left, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's exactly where we're coming from, Simon, because it shows that a dark lager can still be delicate, like a lager should be. You know,
yeah.
Lager drinkers want a delicate, nicely carbonated, flavoursome drink. That's a proper lager, and both of these are really nice. I'm not saying that the Calvors is like, they're just they're slightly different. I think they've both got chocolatey, bit of coffee, and that sort of thing. But yeah,
I think I'm just going to say thank you to Hans Rune for the super chat from Stavanger in Norway. Thank you very much, Hans. Daniel answered the question, so fantastic for that. I'm going to say in this round, but that's probably to do with the ABV on the Munchner Dunkel from Hacker-Shore. What is it? Oh, it's 5%. Wow, that is. I mean, and the Dunkel for 4.5. Wow, this is. There is a difference. There is a definite difference for me. I'm just going to say, I think you hit the nail on the head where you didn't go like a million miles to the left for this, and you've kind of cast the nets into the lager drinking pool, if you like, and you've collected up a few people who like some roasted malt in their beer. It's a very good Dunkel. I remember rating this, and I was over the moon with this. I absolutely kind of flabbergasted by it. It is a really, really good beer. I'm going to be. I think this Munchen or Dunkel seems to have more of a breadiness to it. Would you say? More of a like the malt
Definitely.
on and on. It's like almost like it's going on and on. There's so much malt in the beer. There's not that much hops. Where I think yours might be hoppier.
There is definitely a real big sort of roasted flavour on this one, on the German one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that might be just more to the fact that this brewery have probably been around for like 500 years. You know, it's they've had
but
time.
Listen, right? The thing with ours is, as I said earlier, stepping stone. If someone has a couple of cans of Dunkel, our Dunkel, and then thinks, "Cool, that's a lovely style," and then goes on to something like the German styles of Dunkels, that's perfectly right with me. You know, that's opened their eyes to a new style. That's what we're kind of trying to do, you know.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's a great Dunkel. But I think on this occasion, and again, that's just me being 100% kind of honest with my viewers. I think on that occasion, it's only been the one. I think I would go for the Munchner on this round. So I think that's been 2 Calvors, 2-1, which means Calvors have won the night. I think
it's not bad for a little brewery in East Anglia. That's all right.
It's brilliant. Yeah. I'm a massive. I love the dark kind of Dunkel style of beer. I really do. It's one of my favorite styles. But then saying that, I just said what I've said, and I put down the Hacker-Shaw, and I'm holding the camera. Yeah. What does that tell you about body language? Yeah. Maybe I like holding a small glass. I don't know.
The thing is, you have a fantastic pizza in London in a pizzeria, but is it any better than a Italian pizza on a stone cooked oven? You know, so
exactly, and a lot cheaper,
and that's what, you know. I'm happy with both of these. I think I'd quite happy to drink either of these all night. But the Munchen is lovely, really nice.
Yeah, I think it was just it just seemed more. The malts just seemed to go on a bit more. You know, they seem to kind of. Callum Thomas, no, not yet. We're a bit early for that. It's 25-9. Beer Zero was saying well done, Adam. So the Calvors Brewery won 2-1. Or we give it 2-1. So we first of all we rated the Hell's Lager with the Andex Kloster, and if we go back to it, I think we said that the Andex at 6.9%. Personally, on my point of view, I'd like to drink something a little bit more light and crisp and refreshing. So I think that was the reason why we gave it to Calvors there, was because although the Andex was a brilliant beer and you couldn't tell that it was more or less 7%, it was down to the fact that you can session this, and it held its own in terms of flavour to the Andex. And then round 2, I think we kind of said that if you wanted a Vienna lager, which is essentially a malty, darker lager, then you would want to go with this over something that in America was their take on a Vienna lager, but it was slightly hoppier. And I think that's the reason why we gave Calvors Vienna Lager the win there. And that's the reason why it won 2-1. but then the Dunkel for me just edged it. It wasn't a million miles away, but it just edged it. And I mean, go on, Adam. Go through the 3 beers. Give us your explanation why you chose what you did tonight.
I think the biggest thing is we haven't had a bad beer all night, which is the big thing, you know. And for us, the whole point of tonight was Calvors versus Goliaths. And as you said, like, some of these breweries have been around for God knows how long. They are the Goliaths of their style, as Beers of Europe have named this whole thing. And we are a brewery in Suffolk, in East Anglia, going for 12 years, and we love lager, absolutely love it, love what we do, and we're proud of the beers and stuff. And I think the Hells held its own really, really well. All right, this is a 3.8, this was a 6.9. So there's a difference on the, obviously it creates a difference in the flavour. I think that doesn't initially hit you as a 6.9, but probably by the end of the bottle it does. Feels like it's punched you in the face a little bit after the event, you know. But I would quite happily, I'd prefer personally, as Simon said, to drink mine as a 3 or 4 pint Helles lager. The Vienna, both really nice. I love Brooklyn lager anyway. This Brooklyn Vienna is really, really good. It is definitely hoppier than ours. I think they dry hop theirs. I might be wrong, but I think they do. So it's going to be a little bit hoppier. In all our lagers, we only use whole leaf hops. We don't really do the pellets and things like that, but both really good. So I think that one was a bit of a draw, because if you like the malty thing like I do, I'd go for our Vienna. If you're a bit more like Simon, you like a bit of a hoppier Vienna, you'd probably go for the Brooklyn. But they were quite similar, actually. They were quite similar. And then the Dunkel, they do smell very similar. But yeah, they are different. Ours is obviously visibly, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but ours is visibly lighter, which was totally intentional, because as we said earlier, we didn't want to alienate the lager drinker that would think, well, I didn't ask for that, I asked for a lager. But equally there, you know, I'd quite happily drink either. And the German one is absolutely stunning, it really is. But ours will appeal in England to a wider audience, which is why we did it. We're trying to sell beer, and that's why we did it.
Brilliant. Adam, I'm gonna hand over the reins of the whole Real Ale Craft Beer channel to you for a moment, while I take a quick toilet break. If you just want to read a couple of comments out to people and whatnot, and then I'll be back in a moment, if that's okay.
Yeah, be quick. Yeah, so John Biden, you've commented a lot. Thank you very much. He says, I admire you guys for using whole hops, not pellets. Yeah, we do that. We're known for 4 English lagers. And as someone commented earlier, yeah, they are our English take on German styles. But we only ever use whole hops in all of our lagers. We use pellets in the IPA, which has 4 American hops in it. And we use pellets in the IPA, maybe a couple of the casks, but for the lagers, which is really what we're all about, we only ever use the whole hops. So that's what we're about. What's next for Calvors? Matthew at Beers of Europe. Hi, Matthew. What's next for us is really just trying to plow on and do as much as we possibly can after this COVID situation. We've been honestly unbelievably grateful of all the support we've had locally in East Anglia. Retailers, direct customers. We've had website customers ordering like 10 cases of our beers every single week, and you think, well, where the hell are they putting it? But thank you very much to all of you guys, because you've literally kept us as a brewery active and going, and we're just going to plow on from here, really. We mentioned earlier that we're going to have the smaller brewery potentially for some experimental sort of funky stuff, which would be good. But yeah, we're just going to plough forward for the lagers. And then another question someone asked is, do I use gel or mousse? It's neither. It's actually like a wax.
Cool.
So yeah.
Brian, Adam, some of the cans, just different colours. I like that. Makes picking the ones you want cooler very easy. Yeah, absolutely. I like the way you've kind of branded it as well, where you just got slightly different colours, and then you got the name of the beer underneath. You can go, yeah, that's definitely Calvors beer. Yeah.
I mean, we're not branding experts, with that, the branding of that used to be 3.8 in a bottle. It was, very much like someone that had just started a brewery putting a label on a bottle, but now they've all got a bit of, they all sort of make sense now. I'm trying to match the camera up there, yeah. And they're not the craft ones that have like a Banksy artwork on them and all this sort of thing. Because a lot of people buy the beers on the artwork, which is fine, but we're just trying to make it clear what it is. It's a rich, complex, roasted dunkel lager. That's all it is, It's a crisp, refreshing Hell's lager. That's what it is, That's what we're trying to do.
Brilliant. I've just lowered the resolution on my camera. A couple of people are saying your camera's a little bit blurry, Adam. I'm not sure if it's the bandwidth or the internet. Probably not a lot you can probably do about it. I just lowered I've lowered my quality. Hopefully it can kind of like balance it out a little bit.
Well, my wife and my daughters have just come home, so they're probably all YouTubing something.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what it is.
They're using up the bandwidth. I'll send them a message and tell them to get off the internet.
Yeah, there's a comment there from Beers of Europe. Ask Adam if he can sort the screen out. It's a bit hazy. The blurriness is an artistic choice. Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've asked them to stop if they are. Let me know if it gets better though. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, I will do. Will Calvors be making kegs for the Perfect Draft beer system?
I'd love to. I don't know who organises all that sort of thing. But if Perfect Draft people are watching, then give us a shout.
Yeah.
I think Amanda might have hit it on the head here. I think everybody's just drunk too much. My camera's absolutely fine.
Yeah, it's probably we've all drunk too much. Yeah, we got still over 200 people tuned in. Can we do 250 likes? Hit the like button for 250. That would be amazing. That'd be great. So we got 221 at the moment.
Is the camera any better yet or not?
For me, it's been like it for a little while, but for me, the sound is great. I ask a question, you answer. It's a bit like a podcast, really, but it is improving. It's definitely improving. Good. Yeah, I'm quite lucky. We have Virgin Media here in Barry, and they offer us like 500 meg download speeds.
Yeah.
Just lucky, I suppose. Drinking a Brewdog Paradox Grain 2018. What a beer. Okay, so question to Adam. I'm going to think of a question on the top of my head. We asked about the history of Calvors Brewery. Where will Calvors be in 5 years' time? Where would you like Calvors to be in 5 years' time?
We would love to be a little bit more nationwide. We send down to to Bath, and we go up to Sheffield, and we go to various other places with the draft side. We're over the moon with the national reach with the cans since COVID lockdown and all this sort of thing. Unbelievable. But yeah, we should already be massively bigger than we are now. But that's where we want to be in 5 years' time. You know, it's all about the brewery now. The pubs are great, but it's got to get back to focus on the brewery. That's what we're all about. That's what the pubs are all about, our two pubs. And we are going to get there. You know, we're going to get the Hells and the Pills, and particularly there are two core lagers that we're focusing on, and we want them to be up there with the most recognised lagers in the UK, basically.
We got saying, Adam, what is your background brewing or business?
Well, my background was essentially marketing and sales and retail, but brewing has also always been an interest of mine. As I said earlier, Alec, who's the founder of Calvors, is a friend of mine going back to sixth form times, which is 15 years ago, maybe more, like 18 years ago-ish. So yeah, it's always been a part of what I've been interested in. And it's very easy to get properly involved in it, you know. It's not a difficult thing to be passionate about. Brewing should be fun. If it isn't, you're doing it wrong. That's what Alec always tells me, and that's what all the brewers say. If you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. And you know, we could be selling floor tiles, we could be selling you know, bricks. We're not. We're selling beer. So it's fun, you know. That's what we're about.
Do you know? I'll tell you a story about I work for a very old school brewer, which it was a case of you drop the barrel off to them, and you give them like an IOU type of thing, and you go get cash off them like a week or 2 or 3 or 4 weeks down the line. It's very old fashioned kind of way. And when I went for my interview, my boss or the owner of the brewery said, be prepared to get drunk in your job.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this sounds pretty good. I like this. It sounds great. So I started selling beer. I choose Cardiff on a Friday to go and sell in the city centre. So I'd go with your book of all your different beers in as you do, show them all, and some of the bars knew me that well that they would go. I'd walk and they go, Simon, and without even asking, there was a half on the bar. And
yeah.
I live in Barry, which is about 7 miles away from Cardiff. And on a Friday, I would get the train into Cardiff with my work, with my kind of like marketing material, showing all of these pubs what beers we had for that week. So I'm just presuming this is kind of similar to maybe what you get up to.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, something. And I would never drive in the car on a Friday. Never. I would never drive my car on my company car on a Friday. It would be train into Cardiff. My boss was fully aware of what was going on.
Yeah.
I go in, start drinking in the city centre, get absolutely off my trolley. But Friday was my biggest sales day. You know, it's like you're meeting mates and just selling beer to your mates type of thing.
It's right, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's very easy to talk about beer. You know, you go to a pub, all right, you've got to try and sell it against Carlsberg, and people will often say, well, I can't take San Miguel off the tap because everyone loves it, and all this sort of thing. And that's fine, but the fact is, it's easy to talk about it, you know, and it's not a case of going in there giving it a sales pitch. You go in and just try to be nice to people and explain what you're about, and hopefully they like it. If they don't, they don't. But
I would never do. I would keep the sales pitch days to like Monday to Wednesday, and then by Thursday I was ready to start kind of like.
Yeah.
I suppose I learned it from another salesman in the area who would he would go like betting on the horses in pubs, just being he was just in the pub, but just he would go around all of these different pubs, and while he was like betting on the horse and stuff, he would go, "Oh, by the way, we got this new beer this week. Do you want to take it?" And they go, "Oh yeah, why not?" And it was just it was an amazing job. Like I couldn't imagine selling floor tiles like that or selling bricks like that. You know, it was impossible to do that.
The difficulty, the difference is like with lager, if you get a customer, generally speaking, you keep them unless you're on a rotating gas lager tap. Cask ales is a completely different ball game because you can spend 5 hours a day ringing up for cask ales. If you're 1 minute later than the previous brewery, you've wasted 5 hours, and you might sell 2 casks, which is what, I don't know, 200 quid, maybe 140 quid in 5 hours, you know. And that is the nature of the game. But still, you're talking about beer, and you know it's not a bad thing, you know. But it's not so good for your waistline. I think I've put on about 2 stone since I worked at the brewery.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I do a lot of walking, a lot of kind of weight training, but I've still put on 2 stone easily. Have you seen my first ever video? Or
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
I put on so much weight, but I think it's a trade-off. It's not a bad trade-off. I'd rather be a little bit bigger selling and working in beer than being lighter selling Spanish floor tiles.
Definitely. Well, I think Brain Worker has just summed it up, really. I'm not going to say it because I've got a Calvors shirt on, but he's used the swear word anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Simon, I'm just going to nip to the loo. I'm going to see if anyone's using the internet as well.
No worries. Yeah. I'll cover what we'll do while Adam's gone for a moment. I'll just change my camera just so it's a bit wider. There we go. There we go. So we got a little bit more of what's going on behind. So we got 205 people tuned in tonight. I understand it's a very different feed. It's a very different night tonight on a Tuesday. We're interviewing a brewer. I think it's gone very well. It's gone fantastically well. It's our first night on StreamYard where we've had somebody on other than me or Mel. How do you, comment, guys, let me know. What do you think? Do you think it's gone well? Do you think, have you enjoyed yourselves? Is it something you would like to see again? Getting some more brewers on? Get Northern Monk on. Well, we can try. And we'll see how it goes. I've enjoyed it. I've thoroughly enjoyed tonight. It's been. There we are. Jenkins saying more of these brew chats, Simon. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Lots of people saying definitely great stuff. More of the brewers. Brilliant night, Simon. Love salmon. And hi, guys. I've enjoyed it. It's of course, a bit different. It's kind of like definitely new for Adam. It's definitely new for me. Interacting. It's a very different interacting. I'm going to be honest because what I normally do with these feeds is I'm just kind of like normally fixated, not fixated, but I'm normally looking at the comments and answering your questions and maybe stop and tell a story and so forth. And maybe do some press ups for £20, but it's a lot of people are saying. I just asked for feedback, Adam, on how tonight went, and it's all been great. A lot of people are saying great stream, education. Joe Biden's dentures saying these are the future. Great fun, enjoyed it. Good to keep evolving the channel. Loved it from Australia. Interesting. Yeah, lots of people. Not a bad comment tonight, really. But yeah, lots of people enjoying it. How have you found it? How have you found it, Adam? How have you?
I loved it. I've absolutely loved it, and I'm really pleased with how the beers stacked up against the Goliaths, as they were the build against the Goliaths. I think it's been really good, and I'm really chuffed with all the feedback and everything. Thank you very much, everyone. Not so good about the internet quality. I'll have a word with Sky about that one, but yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and I'm really appreciative to you and to Beers of Europe and everyone. So thank you very much.
Brilliant. Yeah, this is not a goodbye. It's not a goodbye. It's not like we're ending the feed. It's just we're doing like a mid interval. How's it?
As long as everyone can put up with my pixelated face, I'm happy to stay for as long as you want.
No, I think for me, it's a lot of people use it as a podcast where they're kind of doing other things and they're kind of just listening to this. I'll be ordering a few Calvors as a result of this. That's by Smarty Pants.
Thank you.
Smarty Pants is one of my kind of loyal followers. So thank you very much for ordering some of the Calvors beers. You can go to beersofeurope.co.uk to order the beers.
Yeah, definitely. Go Beers of Europe. I would say, you know what I'd say to everyone, to get the beers that we've had today against each other and see what you guys think, to be honest.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah, it is really. It's a good idea. I think if you do this sort of thing again with, other people, then it's a good sort of format to do it in, I think.
Absolutely.
But if we bring something new out, I'd love to come back and see how we stack up against the one of that style, the Goliath of that style, if you like.
Yeah, I'm probably, once I finish drinking some of these beers, see how we go, I suppose, because some are like 7%. I might crack open one of the. Or actually, I'll probably open your Pilsner, because then I've got.
I was going to say, we've both been talking about Pilsner all night, how much we love them. You've got one there, haven't you? So
yeah, I've got two there, and I got one Session IPA and one Amarillo Pale Ale. I'll probably keep the Session IPA and the Amarillo for separate reviews.
That'd be good, yeah.
Pilsner later on.
Yeah, I'm going to have a Pilsner. I've done my Dunkels now, so.
Beers of Europe are saying yes. Let's sort another one out. Yeah, it's gone really well. It's gone really well. We're living in. I don't like to talk about it too much because I think people come here for an escape from the general news. They come here just to kind of just run away from, because it's in your face, isn't it, Adam? Do you find whenever you turn on the TV, turn on the radio, if you do that sort of thing, that it's just in your face, or you can't escape it. It's like it's being kind of shoveled at you, this whole thing. But I like to not go into it too deep, but because of course we're looking to do something different. But how has it affected yourself and the brewery, this whole COVID thing?
Oh, personally. As I said earlier, I mean, to start with, we were 90% or 80 to 90% pub trade, and that went overnight.
Yeah,
including 2 months. And I was furloughed for the first couple of weeks, weeks because we didn't know what was going to happen. But Alec put everything from what was in the tanks, the fermenting tanks, to going to cask, put it into kegs, to put it into cans.
Yeah.
And I came back and just tried to pick up as many packaged beer customers as we could, and fortunately, that went really well. And we cannot express our thanks to, well, not just trade customers, but also retail, or also direct customers. As I said earlier, we've had repeat customers through our website over and over and over again, which is great for us because it tells us the beer is good. You know, people don't reorder beer if it's crap. But it has affected us. There's no doubt about it, and it will affect us going forwards. But what it has meant is that we wanted cans to be 50% of the business, as we were saying earlier. We can't be so reliant on pubs in the future, because anything like this and recessions and all that sort of thing always hits pubs hard.
Yeah.
And you can't be all your eggs in one basket. And we're lucky that we've got the can line and we can can in-house and all this sort of thing. And we've now got a nice bed of customers that we can survive on with the can trade. But we love the pub trade. You know, it's what breweries are really all about, you know. And so it has affected us massively, but we're in a position now to sort of take it forwards and look forward to the future and new things as much as we possibly can. And, you know, after 12 years, we were 12 years old a couple of months ago, and we're still going strong. Yeah, we're going to keep going and come out of this as strong as we can, really.
Yay! Lord's Brewing Company are saying it, and this is my great friend John at Lord's Brewing. I'm touching my Mac screen here. My goodness me, I got to grab the mouse. I've had a bit to drink. It's my 40th birthday today. Stone the Crows. That's a £5 super chat from Lord's Brewing Company. Thank you so very much. Lots of people saying happy birthday. Can we all give a big happy birthday to Lord's Brewing Company? 40th.
Happy birthday, Lords.
Yeah. They're from Huddersfield. And a super chat from Alan Mead saying happy birthday, 40th birthday to Lord's Brewing Company. And yeah, exactly that. I had a chat with I know John from Lord's. He we had a phone call the other week, and it's how quickly you can go from cask to package. I think that was the critical thing, how quickly you can go from not having a business essentially to having a business. That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's how fast can you go over from being cask led or keg led to boom, over we go into cans and bottles, which I don't want to make this whole night about. I don't want to speak too much about this whole scenario, because you've only got to turn on Jeremy Vine. It's in your face every day, isn't it, on Radio 2 or whatever. But well, I've heard some nightmare stories where brewers have not been able to kind of like change that quickly, and it's a sad. You probably heard the same. Adam, you probably heard from other breweries that have not been able to kind of move over as quickly as you have, and face serious problems.
Yeah, definitely. I think I mean, it's not just brewing either. It's is my camera any better, by the way? I've just moved right next to the router.
I reckon if you give it a second, if you open that window behind you a bit more, it'll probably make a difference. And
Right next to me now.
It's a strange blooming thing, the internet. Yeah. All of a sudden,
I think
click into gear.
It's not just breweries either. It's every single business, you know. those that have been able to have been in a position to capitalize or not capitalize, but divert their sort of business activity will be the stronger ones to come out of this, but also the ones that are able to capitalize in the meantime. So you've got a lot of pubs, for example, that are owner operator who couldn't furlough themselves, but were able therefore to do takeaway beer, that have carried on doing a little bit of beer trade, you know. Then you've got other pubs that rely entirely on the staff that are employed who haven't been able to do that. So it's very difficult, and it's the same with breweries. If you were 100% keg based or cask based, I mean, your trade went overnight, and what are you going to do?
Yeah,
You know, it's really hard. We were so fortunate to have that package option available to us in house. I mean, even Adnams send their beer away to get packaged,
yeah.
and where they get it done was prioritizing with their own beers. So for a while, you know, shops around this area couldn't get any beer from them,
right.
because it was a backlog in the packaging, and you know, that sort of thing makes a big difference. But yeah, we've done as well as we can, but a lot of places haven't been in that situation, which is really difficult for them.
Yeah, it's an ever changing landscape, isn't it? That's the thing, an ever changing landscape in terms of what's going on in the world. And I'm going to be honest. Initially, when this whole lockdown scenario started, I went out to every supermarket and every bottle shop I could find, and I was just buying beer left, right, and centre, because I was, in my mind,
Yeah.
I was saying, this is it type of thing for months. I need beer. But fortunately, I mean, you don't know where that package from Australia is going to go, do you? You don't know where that beer from Germany is going to land. And it was all there. It was all being sent. But I was thinking, if it's lockdown, it's going to go into some kind of quarantine, this package, which the German, I got sent a big box of German beer because it weighed so much. It's been in quarantine for 2 months. And that's
really
just somebody with their own money sending into the channel, because they sent so much. It's ended up in quarantine. But other beers from Australia and America, I got these 2 beers today. One from Fieldwork Brewing in America called House of Gods IPA, and another one from Monkish. I've never had a Monkish beer. A lot of people are raving about Monkish, but they come through from America. It's amazing that the lines for me stayed open. So all I did by going to bottle, you know, I've still got the Marks and Spencer's cans that I bought, the regular lagers and IPAs and so forth. I never knew what was going to happen. Are still there, because, of course, I'll always put beers that have been sent by people with their own hard-earned cash. I'll always put them first and foremost out there, you know, on the channel.
That's really good. Yeah, I like that. And I think that's one of the things that people respect about your channel, to be honest. I think you are brutally honest when you need to be. And but you sort of champion what people are doing, you know, and whether that's a brewery or someone private sending you stuff to try. It's good stuff, mate. Good stuff.
Thank you. All right, Lord's Brewing Company. You got to build a good foundation in your business and create a culture where people are as invested in the brand as you. They will help create a group of people that will welcome change. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, I 100% agree with that, and I think we have a benefit in the sense that we focus on what we do. We don't brew a new beer every week. We're not one of those sort of breweries. But there's an advantage to doing that as well, though, because you're always got something new. You've always got a market. When we relaunched the Dunkel after it hadn't been brewed for about a year, we sold the whole lot like that, because it's something new, and that's what the craft beer world want.
Yeah.
It's like Northern Monk or something who brew lots of lovely new stuff. They'll always sell it. If they brew something new, it will sell. And the same with other craft breweries that do the similar sort of thing. But that's their model. It's not every brewery's model to do that, And I think if you can, there's some breweries that will come out of this really, really strong. There will be some that struggle a little bit, but it's an interesting time anyway. And I wish all of them well, to be honest. I mean, some people might think that as a brewery we'd want a lot of them to fold, but it's not the case. It's not what the craft beer world's all about.
I think it's about a lot of it's collaboration. The only reason that there's so much of an interest in beer at the moment is because there's so much beer, and I think that has to continue for the growth of moving beer from the shoulders of the 40 plus to the shoulders of people in their 20s and 30s, to be able to want to drink something quite nice in a nightclub. Well, why not?
Yeah. At the end of the day,
nightclubs, and I've drunk horrible stuff just to be in the nightclub,
Yeah. At the end of the day, all of the craft breweries help each other out. Not in terms of ringing each other up and saying this is what hops we use or anything like that. But if you bring out a new beer, it might create an avenue for another brewery as well, and then a brewery creates another avenue for another brewery. And it's not about stealing each other's market. It's about opening up new styles of beer. And, then someone will find a beer that they love, and maybe they'll buy more of that, but they'll still buy everybody else's beer as well. They'll still buy a can of this and a can of that and a 4-pack of this, but they might buy a 12-pack of something different that they know they really like, and that's what the world's all about, this craft beer world.
I found Joe Biden's dentist has asked the question, Adam, have you ever been to the United States?
Yes, I have, but I was 7, so that was 30 years ago.
Brilliant.
So not recently.
Okay.
But, I'd love to go back. I'd love
to go back for the beer to the United States one day, if it ever comes out of lockdown, that is.
Yeah. Have I been to New Zealand? Someone's saying as well. Well, that is probably more on the immediate cards than America, because my brother-in-law is from New Zealand.
Oh.
Yeah, my mother and father-in-law have both been to New Zealand to see the family over there. They've been over here many, many times, but it's our time to go over there now. They're from Christchurch, which is why I mentioned Garage Project earlier.
Ah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
They're from that way.
So yeah, I'd love to go there. Yeah.
I'm always, as always, I'm as honest as I possibly can be. I'm quite feeling the effects of these beers. I'm not sure. You seem to be doing far better than me, Adam.
Well, I'm trying. Yeah, but Simon, I'm representing the company, so I have to try a bit harder, don't
I? Yeah, I'm feeling a bit. Oof, God, blimey, these beers. Some of them are 7%. They kind of, and I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning as well.
Well, you're doing pretty well then, I'd say.
Yeah,
I was a little bit worried after we finished the first one at 6.9. That started to. I'd probably had a couple before we even went live, But yeah,
Wow.
I was a little bit worried about that one, to be honest with you.
Can't fault it. Yeah, Scott Ryan saying, "Come on, harden up, Simon." Yeah, it's totally true. Totally true. I think if you've had a day of like proper hard slog, pulling bloody walls down and stuff, the moment you start drinking, it's almost like you haven't had enough. Because I don't stop for anything. I haven't drunk enough water all day, and it's probably the reason why I'm feeling like I am, because I've not drunk enough water or so forth.
I think the thing is though, like beer for me in that situation is a bit like ice cream. I won't sit down and eat a tub of Ben and Jerry's until I know I'm not going to get interrupted for the rest of the day, because I want to enjoy it, you know.
Exactly.
And I think if you've had a day's graft, I wouldn't have a beer at lunchtime. I would wait until I knew that nobody was going to bother me for the rest of the day, or I had nothing else to do, and then you just neck the first pint of Pilsner, whatever, and then you have the next one, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Scott Ryan from Australia is saying, "Come on, I woke up at 4 a.m. for this. What's your excuse?" Brilliant, brilliant, yeah, brilliant, fantastic.
I've got to answer this one. Yeah. What football team do you support, Adam? Well, I don't reckon the Beers of Europe team will like this very much, but I support Ipswich Town.
Oh, right.
I imagine they might be most people in their team might be Norwich fans. But for anyone that doesn't know, that's like Man City, Man United sort of rivalry.
Cardiff and Swansea. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Swansea, that's like killing each other. Yeah. I got a good question then, because I've always been quite fond of Ipswich and Norwich, because it's you know, it's not a Midlands club, or it's not a London club. It's a bit like you guys are over there in the east and we're over here in the west, kind of doing our thing. I remember, we got a Smarty Pants £2 super chat. Adam needs to tell us a good drunken tale. We'll get to that. We'll ask Adam a good drunken tale in a moment, but I want to cover this one first. I remember, was it about 10 years ago, Ipswich went to the Premier League. They managed to finish about 4th in the Premier League. They were in Europe.
That's it, yeah.
Do you think if they finished like 6th or 7th in that first season, they would have missed Europe, and then they would have had the not spread it, you know, it's almost as if they went up to it all happened a bit too quick for them, and they spread themselves a bit too thin on the ground, trying to play 2 or 3 games a week, and it kind of burnt them out. And in the end, they got relegated.
You might be right. I mean, that time was like absolutely amazing. I mean,
it was, yeah.
We went up, and then we finished wherever it was we finished, and we got into the UEFA Cup and all this, and I went to Luxembourg to watch them play Luxembourg Town, or whatever they're called. And the first person I saw when I parked the car in Luxembourg was a friend from school, and that's no joke, you know.
No way.
The whole city centre was just full of Ipswich Town fans. The first person, I literally opened the car door and bumped into my friend James. I couldn't believe it, but that was just unbelievable, you know. But those days are absolutely so far away from where we're at now. I mean, George Burley was the manager, and he's an old Ipswich Town player. He won the UEFA Cup with us in '81, and we've had lots of managers. You know, we've had Bobby Robson. Bobby Robson was an absolute legend for us. And we're so far away from that now, you know. And someone just said Arnold Muren. You know, he was before my time. So was Paul Mariner. But I've seen Arnold Muren play on videos, and he could literally turn on a sixpence, as they say. You know, it's unbelievable.
it's like in Wales, we have a similar story. It happened over seven seasons, but Swansea. I mean, I'm from more or less 6 miles away from Cardiff, so I'm a Cardiff City fan. But it was nice. It was nice to see Swansea get to the Premier League. It was nice to see Swansea win the. It used to be called the Coca-Cola Cup, didn't it? I don't know what it's called anymore.
Yeah.
The old Coke Cup, but they won that cup, and then they were able then to go into Europe the next season. And it seemed to be like every year they were doing better, and every year they were doing better. And it's the expectation then that they're gonna do great things. But what they did, exactly the same as Ipswich Town, is that they spread themselves too thin. They absolutely hammered some of the teams in Europe. There was even talk that they were the best team to win that year's UEFA Cup. But they almost they neglected the Premier League at their peril, at their absolute peril. And they finished for the first time in 3 years kind of towards the bottom of the Premier League. And overnight, they went from a team that was growing and growing and growing to a team that was in decline until they finally got relegated. And that's all. I think there's only 4 or 5, 6 clubs in the country that can do the week in, week out Premier League and Europe, and that's the mega rich clubs like your Man Uniteds and your
exactly. I mean,
the rest of us can dream, can't we? You know?
Yeah. Well, we're languishing in bloody League One now, and now they're not carrying on League One. We are finishing in 11th, which is our worst position for however many decades that is. But if we lose our players now, the good players or the goodish players that we have, I mean, where the hell are we going to go? I mean, we're just going to go down and down and down. It's ridiculous, you know.
It is.
It's just money. Money talks now, and that's fine. But it's not really for football, is it? You know.
It's a really kind of weird situation. I for the first, I mean, of course, I followed Ipswich's progress, and for the first 10 or 11, 12 games, they were winning everything. They were like first place, weren't they?
Yeah.
And I don't know if there was like a confidence thing where they thought they could go down and win every game, and now all of a sudden something happened. What was it? An injury to a striker, or was it an injury to a midfield player that caused it?
We've always got a bloody injury worry, you know. So we haven't for the last few years. We just haven't had that depth of squad that you need, you know. You need to be able to have a situation where if you lose a striker or a defender, you've got someone that can come in and not weaken the team. But we haven't had that. And someone on the comments asked earlier, do I miss Mick McCarthy? You know, I'm not a Mick McCarthy fan by any means, but he plays boring football. And if you're a season ticket holder, you don't want to watch it. But he kept us mid-table there or thereabouts.
Yeah.
Which is not what the fans want. The fans want Premiership, but you know, we didn't have the team to do it. So then we had the what was his name? Manager wasn't there for long, and he just brought in League One players. Brought in a load of League One players, and look where we are now. You're in League One. It's no surprise. If you fill your team with League Two players, you'll be in League Two before you know it, and that's what's happened.
Negan's come from Everton fan here. Same thing with Everton. If they did well in Europe, they finished mid-table. It's something like your Man United or your Man Cities, your Chelseas, your Arsenals. They've got bottomless squads and they've got bottomless pits of money. It's almost like a trap, isn't it? It's almost like I was really happy that we had a sustainable Premier League team in Swansea that was staying in the Premier League, and then all of a sudden, it's like they took on too much. They took on a little bit too much, and they got buggered for it, you know?
Yeah, I remember I went to watch Burnley play Swansea. My father-in-law is a Burnley fan.
Yeah.
And we went up to Burnley to watch Burnley Swansea. And I've got to be honest, it was probably the most boring match I've ever watched in my life. It was a 0-0 draw.
Yeah.
Nothing happened the whole game. But you know, that's the nature of the game, isn't it, really? But
I personally, I like your Mick McCarthy's. I like your Neil Warnocks. I like your Roy Hodgson's, Roy kind of Hodgson type teams, because it's all right knocking it around the back for 20 minutes in a game, and I understand that kind of possession based football, but the way Warnock played it was like he'd always have somebody that could throw the ball into the bloody penalty area, or you know, he could always have somebody who could oof it up and get it near the penalty area. You could knock it back around your defence for 10 minutes and not get anywhere.
Yeah.
Or have a player that could launch it, you know, get that ball in the bloody box. It's a funny one, isn't it? It's a funny one because equally the defender just knocks it back and it becomes like a tennis bloody, a lot of air football. But there's a bit of luck in it as well, isn't there? I think there's a lot of luck in football.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
right,
we used to have
let's get back to we got some questions.
We're talking about beer, aren't we, tonight? Is that what we're doing?
They want to bring it back. They want to bring it back to beer. Have Calvors ever done a collab? If yes, what happened?
Yes, we've done two. We did one with a cooperative, so co-op East of England. We did a beer called the Co-Hop for a while. That obviously went into their stores, and we've done one that probably no one from outside of East Anglia will know of, but it's an event, it's a festival called Load Fest, and it's a music festival in Load in Cambridgeshire, and we did a beer for them called Lodestar, which was really popular, and we casked that as well as bottled it, and that went really well for a long time.
Brilliant. I'm going to go for another Beers of Europe. I've just put in a lovely comment. If you wanted to read that one, I've broken my seal now, Adam. So I'm going off to the toilet again.
All right. What's the one you want me to answer? Where's Beers of Europe? Oh yes, near Cambridge. Yes, that is Lodestar. Nice guy called Doug. He was going to do a big old festival this year, but obviously that got cancelled. Winner case of Calvors, even though they support the Tractor Boys. Yeah, if you go to beersofeurope.co.uk, you'll see a picture on their website with all the Calvors cans, one of our pint glasses, and a coaster, and all that kind of thing. And I think all you've got to do is enter your email address to be entered into their competition, and we will send Beers of Europe a free case, which they'll send on to you. And yes, we do support the Tractor Boys, which is, I guess, bad for them. It's also worth saying Beers of Europe, their shop is currently closed for walk-ins, as in a normal shop, but you can still click and collect or buy online at beersofeurope.co.uk. Someone smarty pants saying, "Come on, Adam, give us a good drinking story." Well, whilst I'm wearing a Calvors shirt, there's probably not many I should say. But prior to when I worked there at university, I accidentally threw a traffic cone through a Pizza Express window in Leicester. Hopefully there's no Pizza Express Leicester people watching, but we decided that it'd be a good idea to do Scottish games style throw the hammer type thing down the road, and I let mine go a little bit late. It went up to the top story of Pizza Express and smashed the window. Can you tell us a childhood story? I don't know. I mean, so one of the things Beers of Europe asked me in their Q&A I did with him a little while ago was what was the first drink I had, and the honest answer to that was a low alcohol white wine that I drank when I was about 7, and I thought it was lemonade, and I drank about half the bottle until my mum told me it was actually wine, and I was staggering all over the place, really.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Good. Lord's Brewing Company saying good work. Fantastic. I think we've all got a kind of story to tell, haven't we? From my younger days. Have you got a very funny story, Adam, from your youth?
Oh man. I just told him one about when I accidentally threw a traffic cone through a Pizza Express window. But there's one. I used to work in a pub in Leicester when I was at university there, and I was 19, 20 years old. Just used to get absolutely, as you do, hammered. And once I walked out of the pub, and a cat started following me.
Really?
So, yeah, I picked the cat up, and it seemed to like me, so I took it home. But home was about 2.5 miles away.
Yeah.
And then the cat didn't have a bloody clue where it was, and my housemates didn't really appreciate it because it was meowing at this front door all day. So essentially, I stole a cat, which I'm not proud of, but I did take it back the next day. But all it sort of caused was a sleepless night for my housemate, really.
Yeah,
so
no worries. Cats
there's a lot of stuff I wouldn't really like to say, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm going to admit that. Yeah, I got lots and lots of stories. I give out some of my stories, but I don't give out all of them, type of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think you can. I don't think it would just be awful.
Not when I'm wearing a Calvors shirt,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Congratulations, Adam. Your bladder is stronger than Simon's and mine. Brilliant. What else have we got? Top lad. Simon has had plenty. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just one of these situations. Do you ever find when you drink beer, there's nights where you could drink enough to sink a battleship and you'd be fine, and then there's other nights where you have a few and it catches you off guard and you're like, oh, I'm more drunk than I should be.
Yeah, 100%. Like if you look at my eyes now compared to where they were at the start of the stream, you can tell I've had a few beers, and I know I've had a few beers, but I'm just trying my best not to say anything stupid, really. But yeah, I mean, you can, if you're not in the mood. That's the thing. If you're not in the mood, you can drink as long as you want, but it's not going to get you happy, or drunk, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
If you're having a good time and you're having beers and you're having fun, then I mean that's what beer's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We got a comment from Lord's Brewing Company. I once jumped all over a car after a New Year's party. I didn't remember I did this, and the following afternoon found my car vandalized, checked on the venue CCTV, and found out it was me. Brilliant. So I think now is about the time to ask everybody, what snacks are they having? What's their night? What's their kind of beer snack of choice? What's yours, Adam?
At the moment, it's liquid hops and malt, but I will probably be having a when I go back in, I might have a little cheese toasty, I think.
Just a level off, yeah, just a little
Yeah.
leveler.
I
But
did
if
have
you
I did have a little something before we came on live because I knew we were drinking a 6.9 to start with.
yeah,
So I thought, well, I better have something in the tank before that goes in, you know.
but if you were to crack open a few beers in front of the telly on a Saturday night, what would
Yeah,
be your snack of choice? Would it be some
100%. It would
cheddars
be
or
peanuts and kettle chips, or actually Fairfield crisps. If you've not heard of them, they're a
no?
local one to us.
Oh,
They're local to us, East Anglia. Fairfield crisps, right? Check them out. They do a collaboration crisp with Adnams actually with their Ghost Ship ale.
right,
We
okay.
don't hold that against them because they are really good crisps. So check out Fairfields, but yeah, I'd have some sort of kettle chip Fairfields like proper crisp, you know, and maybe some spicy Nobby's nuts or something.
Oh, I'd love some of them Fairfield crisps. I want to try some of them. Definitely want to try some of them.
We've got some at the brewery actually, so I'll send you some, Simon.
Brilliant, fantastic. Because I do love I love a food review as much as I do a beer review.
Have
I
you
found
seen
out
this? Have you seen this new burger that Iceland are doing?
I
It's
went today, they didn't have any.
uh, a friend of mine mentioned it to me the other day. I said like the double burger with cheese inside and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, I went
Yeah.
looking there today. No, nothing there. I even asked them if they had the Carolina Reaper sausages, and they weren't there either. So it was a wasted, because you have to wait outside and queue up, don't you, these days? And
Yeah.
I queued up to go in, and they had nothing in there that I wanted, and I was like, oh god, I better buy some Doritos while I'm here.
Joe Biden's dentures was asking a question a minute ago. I don't know if you saw it. It was about lower ABV.
I missed it. Go on.
Yeah. Um,
Sorry,
do
Joe.
you see lower ABVs as a growing trend? I think yes, because all the statistics say that millennial sort of age group, so younger than sort of my age, um, are basically not drinking as much alcohol, and they I don't know whether that is really the case or not, but I think what is absolutely certain, and it's been the case of wine for a long time, because I used to be in the wine industry, and people are now spending more on what they want to drink. So spending more on quality, but drinking less than spending a lot of money on drinking a load of crap. So people are more willing to spend more on a good beer, but drink less of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think that's really true. So lower ABV, I think there is a big market for it, but is it something that we're going to go into? It's a difficult question because it's something that most brewers will say, yeah, we'd love to do an alcohol because there's a market for it, but it's not as easy as that. And to do a genuine, proper lager craft, thing without it's an expensive thing to do unless you boil it up and all this sort of things. Yeah, I don't know. It's a big market, yes. Whether we'll do it, I don't know.
Um, I'm gonna be open and honest straight away here and say I'm not a fan of a lot of breweries will send me non-alcoholic beer and they'll say it's the next big thing and but it goes in the back of my cupboard and it might see the light of day in about 8 months time. I just if I had no beer left then I suppose I would review this zero alcohol or 1 or 2% alcohol, but I just don't. For me personally, I don't drink to get drunk. I don't drink to get into this state. I like a drink, and I
Yeah,
like the way the drink makes me feel, to a point, if that makes sense. I like
I get that.
normally by now I've be eating crisps and leveling yourself off, sobering yourself up. I don't see the point. I'd rather drink a glass of cola than drink
That's
a
where I'm at.
0% beer.
I've got to be honest. I mean, that's where I'm at, and I totally get if you go to the pub with all your mates, but you're the driver.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a beer because you're tasting the beer and you're getting involved with it. But if that's the only market you're trying to target, that's not a big market, you know. And all right, we've got a 3.8 Hells here. If you're a driver, you can have a pint of that. That's okay. That's I don't. This doesn't excite me. It
No.
doesn't excite me.
No.
And I'm not saying they're all bad. They're not. I'm sure. I know our Adnams Ghost Ship, the 0.5 is a good beer. But we had a cask of that on our one of our pubs. We couldn't sell it, but we have it in bottles all of the time. And that is a reasonable seller, for the designated driver. But it's not exciting enough for, I think, us to do it. We'll let those that are doing it do it, and we'll stick to what we do.
I got a story to tell. I went to it was my best mate who unfortunately become unwell in his early 20s, and he suffered with this illness for ever since he's 41, the same age as me. And we went to this pub, and it was like a travel lodge type pub. What was the place called? Brewers Fair, a Brewers Fair type place. And we went into this Brewers Fair, and I started drinking the Adnams Ghost Ship in the bottle. So drinking this Adnams Ghost Ship, enjoying it. I went up to the bar with the bottle and the empty glass, and I said, "Can I have another?" And the barman felt inclined to ask me, do I want the zero alcohol version or the normal?
Yeah.
And I just, it's probably his job. It's probably part of his being a barman. But I just said, no, I want another 4% or 5% ABV beer. I said I couldn't imagine. I said to him straight, I couldn't imagine drinking anything like that in my life. That's just how I am. That's just how I am. I don't like the non-alcohol stuff. You either drink beer or you don't drink beer. That.
I've got to be honest. If I was the designated driver, and I was driving my mates to the pub to have a meal and have a chat or whatever, I would have a Coke. And that's not because I don't support people that do the low ABVs or anything like that, but I drink beer because I like beer in the sense of what it should be.
Exactly.
And it's not literally, like I say, my brother drinks the Ghost Ship 0.5. He loves it, and he comes around mine on his motorbike, and understandably he doesn't want to have a beer.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad beer. I have to say it. It's not a bad beer, but it's not something. I just think it's not what I see beer as being.
Exactly. Yeah. I know. I mean, we have to be slightly diplomatic. If we're on a platform where we're speaking to the world, the world could tune in if they want to. But
yeah,
I know where you're coming from. I know exactly where you're coming from. I think we have to be a little bit reserved into what we're saying. But if I was to be a little bit blunter than you, it's not for me. It's just not for me at all. I'd rather drink Coke.
Yeah, I mean, I will never, ever, ever slate a brewery ever. Even if I personally hate them. I'd never go out and say it ever, and that's just my nature. But I have no problem with low ABVs. I've had a lot of them, and I think a lot of them are decent quality beers. But it's just not something that I would choose if I was not drinking. I'd rather have something that they've got on that's a little bit different as a non-alcoholic drink, whether it could be a brewed sort of tonic style thing, like these ones that you get. I can't remember what the name of them, but you know the sort of thing I mean. But someone's asking me, do I like a cider on a hot day? Yes, I absolutely do. And we are, I don't know, I don't know if anyone knows, but we are probably 3, 4, 5 miles from Aspel Cider in Stonham. We're very close to them. Yeah, Aspel's is a wonderful cider. I mean, I absolutely love it, and we wholesale it for them. So a lot of the lager customers that we have, we also wholesale Aspel's too, and I love it. I think they're an absolutely wonderful cider, and I'd quite happily drink that on a 30-degree day. No problem whatsoever.
Yeah, no, fabulous. Really, I totally agree.
Problem whatsoever. This is, that's an interesting one here. Neil Smith saying, "What are your thoughts on Brewdog's rise and fall?" In brackets and fall.
Well,
That's,
yeah. I mean, yeah,
that's a really big one. Like, I have got, as a marketeer in marketing, you cannot fault Brewdog in whatever you think of them. They are astonishing in their marketing. They have been incredible. You know, if there's an opportunity to be had, they do not miss it at all. And you could say, for craft beer, has anyone been as influential as them in promoting craft beer? Perhaps they have, but you know, they have been influential in it. There's no doubt about it. Have the beers gone downhill? Potentially, yes. You know, some of the beers are not the same as what they used to do. Do they sometimes jump on an opportunity a little bit too quickly? Maybe, but you can't fault them for what they do in their marketing. No doubt about it.
Yeah, it's almost as if they've still got that small beer mentality. Like it's James Watt going, that we'll brew that Specsavers beer or whatever. You know
Yeah.
You know, they'll go bang. We'll still got that. It's almost like he's got that control over the company where he can go, we're gonna brew that beer, and it's a bloody great idea. Whereas you wouldn't see somebody like probably Green King doing that sort of thing. But I mean, understandably, yeah. But did you ever try Punk IPA when it was 6%?
Yeah, the original one is better than the current one. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it.
Fabulous. It was a fabulous.
But the thing that's different is that some breweries that have got big will openly admit that they have changed the recipe to make it more scalable.
Yeah.
And they'll do that openly. I think Brewdog, there's no doubt about it. They have changed things, and a lot of people still love it. But those that had got a taste for the old one, maybe not so much. You know, and it's not my place to say, you know, but it's more your place to say. So
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It's a different beer. It's a completely different beer. For me personally, it's. I don't know whether there's some of the big conglomerates that have bought an X amount of shares, but maybe tonight's not the night to discuss that either, if that makes sense.
No, I mean, all I'll say to follow it up is, and everyone here that's watching this can quite happily quote me on this, that if we ever get to the size of Brewdog, the taste of our beer will never ever change. Alec is fundamental in. He will, if we brew a batch of Hells, which we've been brewing for 12 years, and that is not the same as the first one he did, that goes on the farm, it goes on the fields, no doubt about it. And if any of you guys ever think that that's not the case, then you call us out, because we're not interested in it. That's not what we're about. We can get as big as whoever you name, but we're not interested in changing what we do. And if that means we won't ever get as big as Brewdog, then that's fine, whatever.
This is a funny one. I met Stuart Main from Shepherd Neame, and he would say that where Shepherd Neame was based was a microclimate, so you could watch a national UK weather forecast where most of the country was raining, and then you'd see the bottom corner of the country where you guys are, you'd have like 20-30% more sunshine than the rest of the UK. Is that true, Adam?
We are the driest part of the country, I think, East Anglia.
Yeah, because it kind of just moves, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I don't know. We're I don't really know, but we have plenty of sunshine.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Well, we've had it great. We're in Barry for the last. It hasn't rained much in 3 months. It's been marvelous. Marvelous.
Well, it's been it's great for us as a lager brewer. You know, we've got a lot of farm shop customers, a lot of butcher customers, big sort of farm shops and all that sort of thing, and they sell our 12 packs with their pack of barbecue beef for the weekend. And there's nothing better, is there, really? You know, you buy a decent pack of barbecue beef and a quality pack of local craft beer to go with it. What more can you ask for, really?
Brilliant. Liam K is have launched a double IPA at 8.4% ABV.
Yeah. That is I think that's the same recipe, isn't it? Or a similar recipe. I haven't tried it, to be honest with you. I can't really comment too much on that. I don't know if you've had it, have you?
Not yet. No, not yet. I think it's the lockdown, but I'm not as savvy as I once was. I used to kind of like be on the ball every day as to what new beer was coming out, what new food was coming out, but I'm not so on the ball these days. I need to be. Perhaps I will. I'll get back to it once I finish my housework, building walls in the house. I'll be able to have more time to check.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, I'm very much the same. Like, it's, as you can probably imagine, it's all been about trying to get the brewery to a good position and all that sort of thing, and finding new markets and changing to a new normal and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, I've mostly been drinking our beer. Because it's there, I can leave the brewery and pick up a case of Vienna, or my probably go-to one from ours is probably the Vienna and the Pilsner. So I'll grab a case of that, and when I get home from work, and it is a grind at the moment, it really is a grind, to try and get beer out there, and also to contact the pubs that used to buy from us in the hope that they're going to continue buying from us. So it's a real grind at the minute, and to be honest, I don't want to go and look at new beers at the moment, because I'm only bothered about ours at the minute. Normally I love to see what everyone's doing, I really do, and genuinely I love the whole craft beer thing, but at the minute I can only think about our stuff so much, and try to see what opportunities we've got. And so, yeah, like you, I need to sort of broaden my horizons a little bit, but at the minute I'm drinking our stuff, as you can appreciate, And like you, I guess you drink whatever you're sent at the minute, don't you, really?
Exactly. It's a funny time. It's a really funny time. I can't wait. I can't wait to get out the other side. To be honest, I've had a guts full of the whole thing. The whole
Yeah, I have.
I've had enough now. I just want to go back to normality, if there is ever a normality. I'm sure a lot of the people commenting here today and viewing today will feel the same. They just want normality.
I'm interested to hear actually. Like a lot of the people viewing tonight will be pub goers.
Yeah.
We have pubs. We deal with pubs. You know, personally, I'd love to go to a beer garden. I'd absolutely bloody love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would I like to go into a crammed pub though? I don't know. I don't know if I would.
Yeah.
Would I like proper rammed pub? You know, in the centre of Cardiff or something? Would you want to go into a 200 capacity pub? I don't know.
No, I don't think
It's
so.
difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
But a beer garden, you know, I'd love to go to a beer garden right now. It's difficult to know what people are thinking, you know, what they'd like to do. But I know people like Green King and that are going to open with the staff wearing, you know, like the shields and stuff and perspex everywhere. But I mean, Christ, I don't want to go to a pint in Chernobyl. You know, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go to a nuclear fallout zone for a pint.
No.
I'd rather go to a beer garden, or I'd rather go to a pub that is every other table is available for you. I don't know, or maybe I'm wrong, but
No, I think you're right. Definitely think you're right. I don't want to go to face masks and one-way systems and queuing for the toilet's the biggest bother for me because I'm back as much as I am while I'm drinking, and this is just me being honest as they come. I worry if I go to a pub and I need to go for a pee. When I need to go for a pee, I need to go for a bloody pee. You know.
yeah.
If I'm queuing up, well, I'd rather be at home doing it.
Yeah. I think if you've got a field next door to your pub, you need to let people wee in a bush. Like the men need to wee in a bush, and then the men and the female are both female toilets. You know, just let the ladies use the toilets, the men wee in a bush. Simple as that. If you're a country pub, you could probably do that. You know, if you're a Weatherspoons or a Yates in the middle of town, obviously you can't. But you know.
No, I totally agree. Adam, I'm gonna probably call things a night now. It's 10 o'clock. Do you have anything you want to finish with Calvors and how the night's gone, so forth, with Beers of Europe?
I'm loving the night. The night was brilliant. I really appreciate it, Simon, and thank you to Beers of Europe for supporting it all and supporting us as well, more importantly as well. Thanks to everyone that tuned in. A lot of people are saying they'll order some Calvors. That would be great. Thank you very much. Beers of Europe, we've got them all. If you've got any questions about Calvors that we haven't answered tonight, feel free to email me and I'll answer them. And that's adam@calvors.co.uk. I'll do my best to answer them for you. And yeah, Simon, you're a legend, mate.
Thank you.
Look forward to having you in East Anglia.
Yeah, that'd be great. So thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. I think that 7% beer got me at the very beginning, but we just kind of like trolled through the whole thing, which is really good. Totally enjoyed it. Thank you very much for tuning in. See you for Friday Night Live with Craft Beer Lady. Massive thank you to Beers of Europe, Adnan from Calvors Brewery for making this happen. I wish you all the very best of luck in the future, Adam, and
thank you, mate.
And Beers of Europe, and good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.